And ladies and gentlemen, we are live. It's Fergo and The Freak. How are you all? Most importantly, how are you, League Freak?
I'm really good. You know what? 60% of me is 100%.
The other 40% is
Oh,
still...
it's dead. It's worse off than the Sydney Roosters premiership chances. It's fucking dead.
I was going to say, the other 40% definitely still has Rona.
Yeah, 100%. Not that I have Rona, because I got the test, but fucking hell. Whatever I picked up like tuberculosis or something. It's not been good.
We need to give your virus a new name.
Let's give it a name of something that's soul destroying and that you can't recover with. Let's call it Sonny Bill Williams.
I was going to call it Broncos.
Broncos. Did you see that fake story that news fucking people did?
No. Please enlighten me.
Remember a few weeks ago, they said that because here's the thing, right? Journalists are sociopaths. So they don't understand how real life works. So a few weeks ago, they said there was a disgruntled Broncos fan. He turned up to the club and he stood outside the foyer and he said, "I'm not putting up with this anymore." And he threw down his jersey in disgust and walked away. And it's like, no, you planted your jersey there for some pictures. Well, today, they did a story where they said disgruntled Broncos fans turned up and were throwing wooden spoons onto the training field, okay? And there were like dozens of them. So in a journalist's mind, Thursday night after a loss, like dozens of Broncos fans got in their car, somewhere bought wooden spoons and threw them all in the same place on the training paddock. Where the real story is that some fucking media scumbag bought a bunch of wooden spoons, threw them around so that they could get pictures.
They took photos of them.
Yeah, and video, yeah.
Well, as they say in the media, mate, there's no story that you can't make yourself.
Exactly. Hey, you know what we should do? We should thank our wonderful, amazing sponsors right now.
We certainly should. Because even though you've been ill and we've had a rest policy, we haven't rested from shaving our balls.
No, our balls, all of our genitalia, is finally manicured with the best equipment in the world. And the best equipment in the world for shaving everything comes from manscaped.com. And if you go to manscaped.com and you put in our exclusive code, which is NRL, you not only get 20% off of everything on the website, you also get free shipping. So your cock and balls will look 100%. And that's what you want. As we're coming into summer, you want to have all of your shit looking great.
Well, that's right. You don't want to be having a rest policy this time of the year.
No.
Coming into the business end of the season.
Yeah, you don't want to be, you go down to the beach, you put your budgie smugglers on, as we all do.
We need to get a budgie smuggler company on as a sponsor.
We should, eh?
How's that for a combination?
Awesome. Yeah. I used to sell G-strings on my website that said slippery when wet on them, hey.
Oh, that's all class. What, Bon Jovi fan?
Who's Bon Jovi?
Some, I think, Canadian alleged musician.
Canadian? He's not Canadian. He's
Why isn't
New
he?
Jersey.
Oh, it's all the same.
Don't make me laugh, it hurts. Oh.
He made a song in about 1987 and then just pressed Control-C, Control-V.
That's pretty harsh.
He just did that for the next 15 years or so, 25 years, God knows.
I love Bon Jovi.
Nickelback did the same thing. U2 did the same thing after about 1992.
Fucking Nickelback. Anyway, go to manscaped.com, right? Because you don't want a full bush in summer. You want it to be like ready to rock and roll. We call it being match ready. So go to manscaped.com, put in our exclusive code NRL, 20% off, free shipping. You will thank us, and so will she.
There you go. Now, Eddie's come into the chat, and he said that we could call your virus Seabolditis.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. It's nearly killed me.
It has?
Yeah.
Can I just ask you, mate?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you're not well.
Mm-hmm.
You're on death's door.
Yeah.
Maybe. And obviously 2020's been an absolute shit of a year. But
Well, for some of us, Andrew, not for all of us.
Does the Broncos getting the spoon sort of right the ship a little bit?
It does, yeah. The Broncos getting the spoon was fantastic. And I think we all cheated on last night, but then watching the Roosters get fucking spanked by 60. Oh, jeez. How good was that?
That was something else. Mind you, I must admit, I was more impressed with how shitty Newcastle could play when they got dicked by 30 against the Titans.
So I watched the first 15 minutes of that game, and I only saw the second half of the Roosters versus Rabbitohs game. But yeah, I tipped the Titans.
Likewise.
The Newcastle Knights have been terrible.
And the Knights didn't rest too many players, if any at all. And boy, they had the Titans ran rings around them.
Yeah.
I think what we need to do is we seriously need to look for this year only, given that rule changes are aplenty, at just having a top 6.
Okay. Well, I was thinking about this, funnily enough, today. You think we need a top 6?
Yes. Well, to be honest, I think we've always needed a top 6 only.
Okay, I'm happy with the top 8.
Why?
I think you need an incentive for the top 8 teams. I think that there is the possibility that you can get a team that's 7th or 8th that has good form. And I've just got no problems with it. I've got no problems with the top 8. If it was top 7, I'd be happy with that too. Top 6, I'd be happy with that. Top 5 is too few.
Yeah, I think top 6 is fine.
Yeah.
How many premierships have come from teams placed 7th and 8th?
Let me think. None.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've had their crack. They failed.
Okay.
Yeah, we shouldn't have that anymore.
You've convinced me.
Now, there was news during the week,
and
this discussion could take a while.
Okay.
There was news during the week that the NRL has been looking at a concept similar to what they have in the NFL, whereby 9th and 10th place could take part in some sort of playoff thingy to see who becomes the 8th place team for the finals.
Yeah, a wild card game.
Yeah, and I think this came up last year, and I think the idea is complete horseshit and utterly fucking stupid. But mostly because I do have an idea of my own, and if you're not on Twitter and you haven't sent it on there, do you mind if I read it out?
No, go for it.
And I will say too from the outset that I haven't finished this yet. Okay. So this is just the start of it. I thought we could go on, maybe refine what I've got so far, and then add to it. See what needs to be added to it afterwards. All right, so my idea for a revamped NRL final system in light of the recent story is that we play 22 rounds, then the team in last place plays 15th place. The winner of that game then plays 14th, the winner of that game plays 13th, and so on until we get to our 8th team. Then the bottom 8 play in the same final setup as the top 8. The winner of the bottom 8 final series then plays 8th. After the first grand final is completed, we have a rejigged top 8.
Yeah.
The winner of the bottom 8 then plays 8th. If the bottom 8 champ wins, they then play 7th, and so on until they lose.
Yes.
If they beat everyone from 2nd to 8th, and they then get to play in a super grand final with the premier.
This sounds like some Joel Kane shit.
I ain't done.
Yeah.
If any of the teams that didn't become premier can state a reason why they believe they deserve a shot at the title, then they can play every team above them in order from lowest to highest rank until they reach the top side.
Yeah.
Every team is allowed to do this once each. And if by the end of the year we've had more than one team win the premiership, then all of those teams will play each other in a home and away series, and the top 2 sides will play in the ultimate decider.
Holy shit. I see nothing wrong with this concept at all.
That's going to be fine, isn't it, surely?
Yeah. Every
Now-
season will take 3 years, though.
Well, that's right, but at least it's fair.
And that's all you want. You know what? You want consistency.
Consistency. This is the thing. Now, there is something missing from my system there though, and that's repecharge rounds.
Oh, repecharge. I fucking hate that word. That's what people come up with when they can't put together a real fucking competition, aka World Cups.
Exactly right. And nines tournaments.
Yeah.
And I think we really do need to have plate and trophy finals.
Yeah.
Maybe have
Can we
some
name
other
the plates and trophies
Oh,
after different people?
Oh, shit yeah. Actually, we need to have heaps of plates and trophies. We need to make sure that there's 15 trophies to be won, because the team coming last still has to get the wooden spoon. So that's their trophy.
Can we name one of the plates after James Graham? 'Cause
Absolutely.
It's not a trophy.
Absolutely. He can have the wooden fork, maybe.
Wooden fork.
That can be for
Can we
15th
have
place.
what if instead he had like a bowl of Vaseline?
That could work. A jar of Vaseline without the lid on it.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yep, there we go. That could be 15th place. What could we have for 14th?
14th place.
It could be a golden whistle.
Oh yeah, why not?
Yeah. 13th. I don't know. We've got to name these. Maybe the golden whistle could be the Bill Harrigan whistle.
Yep.
That'd be the team that got dudded the third most by the referees all year.
Can we have a golden needle?
Oh,
Or are we in trouble of getting in trouble?
Surely that would be reserved purely for the seasonal games between the Sharks and the Knights, wouldn't it?
Oh, yes.
Yes. What else could we have? We could have the.
What about we could have the golden Mercedes,
Oh wow!
but it's actually like it's not gold, but like James Hooper can say it's gold, but it's really like a polished brass.
Again, that'd just be in the playoff between South and the Roosters, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd think so.
Yeah. Man, we need to have more of these trophies in the game.
Yeah, I think that we should have it where everyone gets a trophy, because
Well, that's the plan, yeah, is everyone gets
Yeah.
something.
yeah, you don't want the children to be upset because they've got a bare fucking cupboard.
And I'd like to think that every trophy will be gold, except for the wooden spoon,
Yeah.
and whatever the trophy is for 9th place. That should not be gold, that should be silver.
A sack of potatoes.
A silver sack of potatoes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. Because whoever finishes 9th does not deserve gold.
Yeah, I agree with all of this.
So, what do you reckon? Is there any tweaks required for this system?
A shitload of amphetamines to get you through the season.
Maybe free tickets to the nearest medico.
Yeah,
A
possibly.
physio.
Possibly.
That could work.
Yeah. How about Tony Stagg's doing his ACL? That sucks, eh?
Yeah, I didn't say that, but that does suck.
Yeah.
Because he's
playing
been
so
one of the few good players for the Broncos this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does suck. He would have gone close to being overlooked for the centre position, because there's no way knowing they'd overlook Moses and Bai. He's had such a stellar year.
Moses and Bai.
And how's the story that it's looking very likely that Kevin Walters could become the new Broncos coach?
Well, the idea that Kevin Walters is going to be the head coach, right, with Craig Bellamy as the coaching director is fucking ridiculous.
No chance they get Bellamy at all. I don't care what they throw at him. I can't see Bellamy saying yes, because I don't think money's an issue for that bloke.
But just say they give him $5 million and they say, Craig, retire, but just look over the shoulder of the coach we've got. It just means you've got the wrong coach.
Exactly.
You know, it's the same thing in at the fucking New Zealand Warriors, where they did this big search for a coach, get a guy with an absolutely terrible record whose biggest achievement was slapping Trent Barrett, and then they need to get somebody in to sort out the juniors via email. It's like, well, you've got the wrong coach then.
Yeah, that's the coaching director thing is just nuts.
Yeah. Well, name one decent club that has ever had a coaching director set up. Like, it's always the basket case clubs.
At the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Mind you, the Tigers never had one.
Yeah, but they're different. They're in their own category.
Yeah,
they're
special.
in a category called the West Tigers.
They're special.
Yeah.
Had a little bit of a minor debate with a few people on Twitter today. Mainly
really?
typically Broncos fans.
What about?
Well, I was just saying, I was rattling off all of the pathetic achievements by the West Tigers, and then I finished by saying, but they've never won the wooden spoon.
Yeah.
And Broncos fans are coming in saying, oh, would you like to trade us with all the premierships we've gotten, missing the finals a few times, and compared to you guys? I'm going, nah. I'd rather having had one premiership win and never ever being regarded as the worst team in the comp.
I just can't believe that any Broncos fans would be talking shit right now.
Oh, they spent so long being so cocky that the first time in all their life they've actually got the worst team in the comp, and they can't handle it.
No. Well, it just goes to show what they've been like all of 2020. I mean, this is a season when we're in a global pandemic and their players are running around crying because they're losing football games. They've got a bunch of fucking pussies.
Exactly. Now, Ben Rolfs joined the conversation. He says that ninth place should have the golden bottom half of a tiger. Is he talking about from the hips down, so like the arse end of the tiger, or just the paws?
Oh, yeah. Like, what's the bottom end of a tiger? So, yeah, would it be like its legs down, or would it be from like its torso back?
Yeah.
That's a really good question.
We need to figure that out, because it'd look a bit weird if it's just 4 legs. I mean, that would look like 4 trophies. We can't have that.
That's a really good question. So, just say you had to take the bottom half of a duck. Are you just getting the duck's legs?
Well, I guess too, it depends on how long the duck's legs are in relation to the rest of its body.
See, if you were starving, right?
Yeah.
And you're in like Africa, and you say to someone, "Listen, we'll grab that flamingo. You can have the bottom half. I'll have the top half." You get a pretty good deal, eh?
Yeah, if you get the top half, absolutely.
Yeah.
You get the top half of those drumsticks too.
Have you ever had chicken's feet?
No.
They're crap. They're really crap.
Well, I wouldn't imagine there's much meat to them.
There's not. They're all just knuckles.
Can I just say, I'm disappointed you didn't ask me. Have you ever had flamingo?
You know what? I bet flamingo tastes like crap.
It'd be gamey chicken.
Well, they eat crustaceans, and that's how they get it in colour.
There you go.
And
can't have that.
Yeah. Well, what you find is that some animals, when they eat like seafood and stuff like that, they tend to taste a bit fishy. And I can't imagine eating something that's got the consistency of like poultry that tastes fishy is going to be good at all.
It's a bit confusing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can't have that.
Yeah, it's like you can get bears that have been eating salmon and they taste fishy. You want the bears that are eating the blueberries and stuff like that.
Yeah. Andy's just chipped in and said the biggest fraud at Yumcha is chicken's feet.
Yeah, 100%.
I'd say the biggest fraud at Yumcha is the fact you're at Yumcha.
No, Yumcha's amazing. I love Yumcha.
Nah.
Why not?
Nah.
Have you ever had Yumcha?
Yeah, once.
I think you've had bad Yumcha.
Well, yeah, it was Yumcha. I don't think it wasn't called Yumcha. It was like, where the fuck is the rest of the cha?
Where the fuck is the rest of the cha? I tell you what, Yumcha is amazing, right? First of all, you get the green tea. People probably would think that I'm the last person to go to Yumcha. You get the green tea, love the green tea, and then you order a couple of special items, and then you see what they bring around. But don't get the chicken's feet. The chicken's feet is It's just garbage. They're crap.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do they serve yum cha at a Porto?
No, they don't.
I think that answers a lot of questions here.
You know, the best place to get yum cha is, what's the place called? It's in Sydney. It's near Homebush.
I live in Melbourne, so yeah, don't need to worry about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Besides, I'm locked down here, apparently.
Yeah. Hey, they've got coffee down in Melbourne.
Yeah. They do.
And a train station too.
Oh, the train station, mate. Have you seen the train station?
Oh, it is so famous.
It's a train station.
Yeah.
It's got a roof. Did you know it's got a roof? It's got like a dome roof.
Wow. I hear that trains arrive and then they leave as well.
Yeah, occasionally. They're not reliable there, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you one thing that train station has in common with a very prominent landmark in Sydney.
Yeah.
That's Leichhardt Oval.
Yeah.
And that is, the toilets smell the fucking same.
Oh, really? Wow.
Oh, yeah. They don't clean those bastards. You can smell those toilets when you get off the train. It's like half a platform away. You go, oh, we're at Flinders Street.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It's got an aroma.
It's like you can sort of smell the DNA of some dude from 1959.
Yeah. Well, look, it's either the toilets or the coffee. It's one of those two. It's hard to distinguish which one's which. There's a lot of coffee around Flinders Street.
Yeah. That's world famous coffee too. Just ask them.
That and all the greenies wandering around smoking.
The greenies smoking?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
They get on there in the e-cigarettes.
Oh, yeah, they vape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Melbourne is huge greenie territory.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think Adam Bant, the Greenie MP, is from the Melbourne seat. So there you go.
Yeah, well, the good thing about the greenies is no one fucking cares what they say. How about, by the way, speaking of greenies, how about those fucking 300 pilot whales that beach themselves?
God, they're dumb animals.
I know, they say they're smart. It's like, hang on, how about you stop? Get into some fucking sand.
They've got an entire ocean which covers, was it 2/3 of the planet? And the dumb fucks keep landing on beaches.
Exactly.
Of course the Japanese are going to turn them into food.
Why not?
Yeah.
Did you hear about, there was some, I don't know if we talked about this. Maybe you told me about it, about the dead sperm whale.
No, you told me about this one.
Okay, dead sperm whale. This is great. I love this. Dead sperm whale washes up on a beach. It's been there a couple of days. And somebody goes out in the middle of the night with a chainsaw and chainsaws its bottom jaw off to take the ivory. And people are upset because they're saying, oh, they desecrated the whale. It's like, it's been dead for a couple of days. What are you going to do? Wait for it to rot? And I just love the idea that someone was like, I'm going to take my fucking chainsaw down there and take its bloody bottom jaw. I'm going to take it home. Can you imagine how much that ivory's worth? And they did it.
I wonder if these people have the same sort of attitude about a big monument at Whitby in the UK. Because they've got a big statue of Captain Cook. Because I think that's where he started his voyage.
Yeah, I've been there twice, hey?
Likewise. Twice as well. Yeah. And they've got the big whalebone there around the statue. You've seen it?
I don't remember the whalebone, huh?
Yeah, it's there. I wonder if they hate that as well. Good fish and chips at Whitby.
Yeah. The Poms do good fish and chips.
Oh, yeah. They make sure it's crispy and crunchy, not like some of the soggy shit you get over here.
No. You know what? I hate it when you go to a fish and chip shop and they have that really thick batter, the super thick stuff. It's like, what the fuck am I even doing here?
Yeah. I didn't come and ask for batter. I asked for fucking fish.
Yeah, exactly.
The Poms get it. I mean, mind you, every second British person knows how to deep fry fish because that's all they do there.
Yeah, they've got terrible hygiene in terms of their oral hygiene, but they do know how to do fish and chips.
Better than anyone else.
100%.
And it's the only dish, I'll admit. Maybe I was in the wrong parts of England. It's the only dish I've seen that they don't eat with gravy. They just go straight into the going, you know what? When something's perfect, you don't need to add something else to it.
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw fish and chips with gravy. I saw it with curry, and mushy peas,
Oh yeah.
but never gravy.
Nah. So kudos there to the Poms.
Hey, we're a rugby league podcast, hey?
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. I was just going to say, there's some talk that the Toronto Wolfpack might have a saviour.
Yes.
And I think there's a conversation going on probably nowish or tonight or tomorrow about their future.
Well, what happened was there was rumoured to be a decision was going to be made today, but that decision's been pushed back now because the prospective new owner wants to address some of the things that have been brought up, and they want to go to each individual Super League club because it's the Super League clubs individually that will vote on whether they allow the Wolfpack back, which is a bit of a ridiculous way to do it.
That is fucking stupid.
Yeah,
I saw that, and it reminded me instantly of something that happened in rugby league's history in Australia back in 1929, when Glebe had, I think, two week seasons out of 21, 22 years of existence.
Yep.
And the clubs all got together with the, at an AGM for the New South Wales Rugby League, and they decided that Glebe should be booted out. It was a very close thing. I think it was like 5 votes to 4 in favour of getting rid of Glebe. And 3 of those clubs that voted to get rid of them were Balmain, South and Newtown, all of which got to take large chunks of Glebe's territory. Hidden agenda much.
Exactly.
So if you go around leaving the fate of clubs in the hands of their rivals, no chance in hell they're going to vote to keep them in, even if it's in their own best interest to keep them there, because the money that could potentially come in would benefit everyone. But they're not going to do it. I think it's stupid that they leave it to the other Super League clubs. That's just mindlessly stupid.
It's outrageous. And look, it's a line in the sand moment for English Rugby League and Super League in general, in that either they want to be a progressive, forward-looking competition that is looking to expand their horizons, or they just want to be a tiny little regional competition that most of England doesn't care about, and they can choose one way or the other. And if they allow the Toronto Wolfpack back into Super League, it will be a really good sign for Super League. It will mean that they are looking beyond their normal horizons. If they choose to go in a different direction, well, they can end up being one of those sports that no one cares about, that it's an odd little regional competition, and it's just completely irrelevant. It's a bunch of little tiny towns in northern England playing a silly little regional sport against one another. If that's what they want to do, that's fine. But, if they want to be irrelevant, then they can stay irrelevant. I won't pay any attention to Super League from that point on. I'm not interested in watching something that's stupid like that. And hopefully any club that is outside of Super League that wants to be part of something bigger, maybe they can build their own competition, invite the Toronto Wolfpack into it, get the London Broncos in, look for more French clubs, and start something that's bigger and more relevant than Super League.
Which would be nearly anything.
Exactly.
Now, man, there's tons of different pieces of news here.
I know. So what happens when we don't podcast? What's it been, a week? Week and a half?
Yeah, week and a half.
Yeah.
It looks like Gavin Badger has been forced to retire from the NRL due to politics within the refereeing ranks and nothing else.
Yeah, now, people were saying there was a post on social media that was talking about the politics side of it. I couldn't find it.
I've not seen it either.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the deal is, but
yeah,
from the messages I've seen from him, he's not talked about it, but he has said that he's definitely keen to keep refereeing, and he's trying to figure out whether he can actually go and be a ref over in the Super League.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now, Matt Chechen, I think, has been trying to get over to England as well, because I believe he's on the outer with the NRL referees. Don't quote me on that. But he's been having trouble getting over there. It might be due to the coronavirus stuff. Could be due to work visas. I don't know. But it's something weird like that. It's a small technicality. It's not a legal issue or something. It's not like he's done anything wrong.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to figure that one out. But I'll tell you what, if they could get Chechen and Badger over there, that's a big boost for their refereeing ranks.
Yeah, it'll be good for them.
Be good for young referees there too.
Yeah, it will be to get that sort of example.
Because the thing is too, given that Gavin Badger's wife is also a referee,
yes,
they could probably they'll probably end up getting 3 referees out of it.
Yeah, it'd be handy. I wonder if they would get Casey Badger straight into, refereeing Super League games.
Oh, have to.
You'd think so, huh?
Yeah. I think it'd be a great idea to get him over there. So yeah, I don't know what the story is. I'm sure it'll come out soon though. Because Graham Annesley runs the refs and he likes talking about what's going on with them all the time.
Graham Annesley needs sacked immediately.
Yes, he does.
Did you see the trialing of those rules that they brought? Like, of all of the rule changes we've seen this year that they've done on the run and on a whim, and then they bring in these new ones for these dead rubber games, supposedly, this weekend, and the one where a try scored and then the video ref goes back and looks at it and then just calls it back up and we all have to restart where we're at. It was horrible.
I don't get why they keep doing this shit.
Yeah.
Time and time again. They're trying to find ways to, improve a system that is perfectly fine. Everyone's accepted it, that it's fine as it is. The only people who don't like it are the idiots in the media who have got nothing else to whinge about. Because there's nothing. Because the game's fine.
Yeah.
They know the game's fine. But they've got nothing else to whinge about, so they start picking on the refereeing and the officiating because that's an easy target. They always go for the low-hanging fruit.
Brought to you by the Ford Ranger.
Like, when you sit down to watch a sporting event, right? In an ideal world, you want to sit down and watch a group of players do something and you don't know what's going to happen, okay? But it's decided on the field. And it's weird because we're now at a point where we've got the video ref so we can go and check tries and things. And then you can stop the play in the middle of the match and we go to the video ref to see if a call should be overturned or not. And now when a try has been scored, the whole game can be stopped and just completely reversed and take it back 5 minutes to where we were. And it's like, I'm not interested in watching somebody in a box doing all this shit. I'm here to watch a sporting contest. Like, it's very weird that that's the direction that Graham Annesley thinks people want to go in.
I don't know. Annesley just feels like the only way he can be of any use to the NRL is to constantly tinker with shit that doesn't need to be tinkered with.
Yeah.
And that's all he's done.
Yeah.
And I feel that is all he's ever going to do. And so we will never get a situation where, in his eyes, the game is perfect. In his eyes, it's always wrong or flawed. And it will be the onus is on him to fix it. Problem is, he doesn't know how to fix it. He just knows how to tinker with shit.
Like, well, how about this? If the refs are so bad, right?
Yeah.
Then let's sack their boss, which is Graham Annesley.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, the decision they had during the week of, was it only forwards could pack into the scrum?
Oh, that was fucking hilarious.
Seriously, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like, what sort of positive impact do they think it's going to have on the game by doing that? It's going to have next to no fucking impact.
No.
Because most teams do not throw the ball from the scrum to the far edge. They just do a crash ball play or 2 passes from the back of the scrum. They don't get very expansive with the scrum play. Why? Because they want to step in the middle of the field so they've got options left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Only in the dying stages of a game are they going to try and throw the ball from one wing to the other to try and create an opening somewhere. But 90% of your scrums are going to happen when that's not going to be the case. So they're just going to plug it up the guts every single time. So this rule change is dealing with a 10% possibility that it might actually do something positive for the game.
Well, it's fixing a problem that isn't a problem.
Yeah, it's a
Like,
problem that doesn't exist.
Yeah, like who's sitting around saying, "Oh, they should be packing the forwards in the scrum. I don't like this." It's like, shut the fuck up.
Oh, Phil
You know,
Good
if
probably
you've
whinged
got a
about it
team
last
that's
week.
good enough, say you're Penrith, right? Say Penrith have some sort of scrum set up where Kickour's on the wing in some weird reality, and he ends up scoring a rampage and try down the sideline. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Yeah,
If that happens, are they going to call it back?
that's a good question. What happens if a team goes into a game and says, "Hey, guess what? Fucking Luke Keary, he's a front rower. I mean, he's
Well-
the greatest competitor rugby league has ever seen." But, you know, what is to stop the NRL saying, "Well, we don't like that"? It's like,
No,
tough shit. He's a front rower.
Classic example, okay, and this is a very real one, okay. Sharks go into a game and say one centre Ramian gets injured. Josh Dugan goes down injured because he does it every week. Talakai, who plays in the back row, sometimes front row, has played centre in the past, so he then gets transferred out to centre
Yeah.
to fill in for the injuries. When they've got a scrum, because he started in the second row, does he have to get pulled in and filled in the scrum? Who's then out
Yeah.
at centre?
What happens if you get
No.
a really shitty coach who, like someone like a Stephen Kearney, who he decides to have like two halves on the bench, which he's done before, and he takes off one of his forwards and puts on another half. So now they haven't got enough forwards to pack a scrum.
Well, actually, no. What is if he's got three halves on the field? Who has to feed the scrum?
That's a good question.
Two
too.
at once? They've both got to have their hand on the ball at the same time.
It just makes problems.
And this is the thing, is that I know these seem like very minor things, but it means that the referee has to keep in mind of all the positional changes going on in the field as well, whereas currently they don't need to give a shit about that because it's completely irrelevant.
Exactly.
Completely irrelevant. You know, and I don't care if scrums are retained or dismissed or whatever. Doesn't worry me whatsoever. But the reason why they're there in the format they are now is purely for, let's be honest, it's a romantic reason because it comes across as though they're hanging on to some important part of the game's history or the game's past when they've been able to go around and pretty much destroy every other rule from the game's past, but for some reason they want to hang on to scrums.
See, I don't mind keeping scrums. It
No.
gets a bunch of plays in one area of the field, opens it up a bit for a different sort of restart. But
Yeah, I don't mind it either for that reason.
like this idea that, you know, you have to nominate for, it's like, can we just leave the referees alone? We cut the refereeing down by 50%, and now we're going to give them even more things to look at. Like,
Yep.
no.
Yep. It's stupid. It's really stupid. Ugh. Man, fucking nuts. Now,
It really is.
Kieran Foran has signed a 1-year deal with Manly for next year with an option of a second year.
That's going to end well.
Yeah. You know what'll happen? You know what'll happen?
Hamstring signing it.
You know what'll happen? He'll go over there and be just like Des. Just all of a sudden it'll just work. He'll play every single game at Manly. Won't miss a single match. You watch it.
I know the Manly Seagulls had some injuries this year. But do you think that Des Hasler went under the radar in terms of how fucking abominable they were playing at the end of the year?
I don't know. See, when they started losing those games at the start of that run, people were saying, "Oh, it's because there's no Tom Trbojevic there." But after a while, you look at it and you go, "Yeah, you know what? Like one player can be important to a team,
Yeah.
but not that important.
No.
Their form." This is the thing, is because everyone was focused on how shit the Broncos were going. Manly shit form did go under the radar.
Yeah.
It needs to be brought to attention. They were atrocious.
They really were, and like they got worse as the season went on.
Yeah, and this is the thing, is that I think by the end of the year, we could probably argue that to some extent the Broncos got somewhat more competitive. I wouldn't say better, but they got more competitive.
Yeah.
Manly didn't.
No. They just got worse. And look, if you build part of your team around a fullback that doesn't actually play rugby league, that's a problem. But it made me think, right? Des Hasler come in after Trent Barrett, and immediately the Seagulls looked better, right?
Yep.
And then, as time has gone on, the Seagulls have looked worse under Des Hasler. What if... Now, this is going to shock everyone.
Mm-hmm.
What if Des Hasler was actually riding Trent Barrett's coattails at the beginning of returning? It's a possibility.
No.
I know it's not, but it would be weird if that was the case. And now Trent Barrett is going to Des Hasler's old club. That's going to be interesting to see how that turns out.
I'll tell you what. I'll happily accept that I'm wrong on Trent Barrett.
Yeah.
If he gets that Bulldogs team into, I don't know, consecutive finals appearances in his time there.
How long's what was his contract they signed him for?
I don't know. To make this worthwhile, I don't mind if they sign him to a 15-year deal. Just to give him a chance.
By the way, do we know who was it that Dean Young signed up for?
Cowboys, I think.
The Cowboys. Okay. Because Dean Young, right, for some reason the fucking media was focused on Dean Young's entire coaching future. Like, a month ago, I didn't even know fucking Dean Young was coaching in the NRL. And then all of a sudden, it's like, the best part was the St. George Illawarra Dragons, they sign Anthony Griffin. Anthony Griffin comes in and tells all of the assistant coaches, I don't need you next year. And then Dean Young comes in a couple of days later and says to the Dragons, I'm moving on to a different club.
Yeah, you can't sack me, I quit.
Yeah, that was brilliant. I love that.
That's the old school power play.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, Manly. How many of their players do you think have played every game this year? I'll let you know. Okay, they've had 27 players this year.
I'm going to say 2.
3.
Oh, is one of them Jake Trbojevic?
Yes.
And the other one is, let me think. I think DC missed a game, didn't he?
No, DC's played all 19.
Oh, there you go.
And the other one is Danny Levi, the hooker.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they've struggled getting that consistent squad on the field week in, week out, and that's the large reason why they've been so atrocious with their results. Manly and the Broncos, their only win in the last few weeks, well, actually their very last win, was both against the Bulldogs.
Oh, there you go. I'm so glad the Broncos got the wooden spoon.
Oh, it is fantastic. And how's that for you? The Titans won more games than the Cowboys and Broncos combined this year.
Wow. Justin Holbrook, super coach.
He is super coach. I've already seen people saying that he should be the coach of the year.
Well, apart from the coach that only lost one game all year, I guess. I mean, there's that guy.
That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should give him. They should give Ivan the award before he nods off.
Big scandal coming out of Penrith, by the way. Did you hear about it?
I have. It's bad.
I'm gonna.
It's gonna derail their season whenever the media decides they want to release it to derail their season.
I'm gonna say what it is now. Okay.
You're gonna reveal the story.
I'll take the responsibility for all of this right now, Andrew. Okay. So this isn't Andrew Ferguson talking. This is League Freak talking.
You're going to destroy Penrith's season.
Yeah. Coaches having sex with the halfback's mum.
No.
Yeah.
Mate, that's fuck, I don't know what to say about that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, the weird thing? Likes to get the halfback to call him dad.
Oh, that's awkward.
Really awkward.
That's really... It's once in front of everyone.
In front of the whole team.
Oh.
And it's like this open thing no one's talking about.
How are they performing so well?
Well, he likes it.
Oh, okay. Kinky. Very kinky. Wow.
That was a weird thing during the week, though, hey?
Mm.
Like... I feel like there's this weird thing with some people who they want to feel like they're insiders, right?
Yeah, journalists.
Yeah, journalists do it all the time. They're like, oh, I'm an insider. And it's like, no, you're not an insider. Like, what is an insider? You tell me, if I said to describe a rugby league insider, what would they be?
An employee at the place where the news is, I guess. Like an insider at the West Tigers would be an employee at the West Tigers.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and even then, you got to be close to the players and like really close.
Mm.
It's almost like you've almost got to be on the coaching staff or a player to be an insider or a trainer. And so to be like everyone else is an outsider. And the way you work it out is you take this supposed insider and you put them with the players and the coaches. Who's the weird one that shouldn't be there? It's the fucking outsider that says they're an insider. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And so there's this thing of people want to feel like they're an insider. And they're just not. And I don't understand it. And to say stuff to pretend you are an insider, I don't know why you would do that. And it's got some people in some trouble this year. And I just think people need to calm down. Because all of the rest of us are outsiders. Unless you're a coach or a player, you're an outsider. The CEO, when he walks into the dressing rooms, all of the coaches and players look at him and think, this fucking guy. You know?
Yeah.
So stop saying you're insiders or pretending you are. Because you're not. You're looking from the outside.
That's where they like to be, on the outside. Pretending like they're on the inside with a telescopic lens.
It's so weird. I don't get it. Like, what are you're trying to prove it to who?
Well, they say it because they want it to appear like they've got some sort of legitimate knowledge. And they often don't.
Yeah, and it just causes problems.
Yeah, well, that's the end game here.
Yeah.
Is they don't care how legitimate the story is. They don't care if it tarnishes anyone's reputation in the media.
Yeah.
What they care about is it causes a response that might be negative because that then creates a story to report on.
Yeah.
So it's all about forcing a story to happen when a story doesn't exist. So it'd be like coming out and saying, let's say, news sources reveal that Benji Marshall had sex with a goat. And they keep saying this story over and over again until the West Tigers come out saying, no, look, we just want to say that Benji Marshall's never fucked a goat in his life. I don't know where this story's come from. And then they go, West Tigers reveal that Benji Marshall never fucked a goat. And they're going, well, we've got a story. And going, there was never anything there.
Yeah.
But they get 3 days of story out of it.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. It's when there's no news, you create a news story. And then when you get the response, that's the end result. And you've made 3 days of news out of something that never happened. And we've seen it time and time again. And it's fucking irritating to watch.
It really is. It's like this, and it's all outsiders. Like,
yeah, they're all outsiders. So they make shit up. And then they run with it and they hammer it and hammer it and hammer it. And if they don't get a response, they just keep going and going and going and going until something happens. And usually, the longer they go without getting a response, the more aggressively they'll push it.
Mm-hmm.
And usually it'll force someone to break somewhere along the line and you'll get a bigger response than you normally otherwise would. Classic example is the whole drama that happened with Mick Potter and Robbie Farah during the time that, they were at the West Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
And the West Tigers club, through their shit management at the time, refused to step in and say, there's no drama here, everyone's fine, we're just focused on playing footy, this is all water under the bridge. Both players, both blokes have made up for it and they've all apologised and they've moved on. Instead, they just sat there and let it fester.
Yeah.
And it completely derailed their season because it distracted everyone. It's all everyone talked about. And then everyone went from being happy and positive because they were winning to being negative and they started getting flogged. And then season's over and fuck, we're going to have to sack someone because this shit's gone too far.
Yeah.
And that's the story they wanted. They want tragedy. They want drama. They don't care whose lives they fucking ruined. So long as they ruin someone's life, that gives them a big story to talk about. They tried to do it with Latrell Mitchell last year. We saw that.
Yeah.
They completely decimated his character on no grounds whatsoever.
Yeah, and like, remember you and me were doing podcasts last year saying, like, Latrell Mitchell has done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And yet he was getting smashed. And look, they kept smashing him right up until a few weeks before he injured his leg.
Yeah. And the only time he did something wrong was when he went bloody, shooting on his farm during COVID.
Yeah.
And not only that was because he shouldn't have been in a group of people. That's all. He should have been in his NRL bubble thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't because he was doing anything actually wrong out there. So it's... But by then, I mean, they'd hammered him everywhere. And the whole thing was about tarnishing his reputation and making him out like he was someone who was to be despised. And sure enough, people started to turn on him.
Oh, yeah. So many people don't like him. And like, I've talked to people that say, I don't like Latrell Mitchell. And I'll say, why? And they'll be like, oh, just, all the stuff he does. And I say, what stuff does he do? And they can't tell you what it is. They just know that his name's out there always because he's doing stuff. And when you explain to them, like, no, he's actually not done anything, they're confused because it doesn't line up with all of this trashing that happens in the media and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just feel sorry for him.
Oh, of course. And look, they're starting to do the same shit to Cameron Smith because they know, too, that a large majority of NRL fans out there don't like Cameron Smith.
Yeah.
So he's an easy target to make out like he's some sort of bad guy.
Yeah.
And so that's why you got James Hooper going out there saying, well, Cameron Smith needs to tell us all what he's doing with the rest of his career, blah, 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 blah. And they'll keep going on and on and on about it, going, Cameron doesn't need to tell you shit, James.
Yeah. And like the idea that if Cameron's like one of the greatest players of all time, who's played the most games of all time, who's scored the most points of all time, if he decides to play on, he's being selfish. It's like, shut up.
Especially the way he's playing at the moment.
He's the best hooker in the game.
Why wouldn't you keep him on?
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts. But
It's
yeah,
crazy.
they'll make it out like he's going to end the career at Melbourne for one of Brandon Smith or Harry Grant. He's going to force one of them out of the club, and they'll make him out like he's a bad guy over that. When in reality, there's no way the Storm can keep both of them. They're going to have to lose one of them because they're both good nines. I mean, Harry Grant's an absolute gun. We've all seen that. And Brandon Smith played test football for the Kiwis as a hooker.
Yeah.
They're both very different number nines, but they're both very good hookers.
But how about this?
You can't have
Cameron
two
Smith-
80-minute half hookers in a team.
But how about this? Cameron Smith has forced hookers out of the Melbourne Storm for 18 years. Like, this isn't new.
That's right. Oh, it's just... It's absurd.
It really is.
But that's what they'll do. They'll target him next. And anyone who's off contract who hasn't made a decision yet, they'll target all of them. Make them out like they're costing their club opportunities and blah, 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 blah. All this wank. At the end of the day, I can guarantee you that the Melbourne Storm and Cameron Smith know what's going to go on.
Yeah.
And they will tell the media when they're good and fucking ready. And there's a fair chance they're not going to tell anyone until the finals are over. What would they?
Yeah.
Let's just stay focused on the playing footy and playing finals footy, and then we'll do all that shit later.
I just had a thought.
Mm.
Imagine if Benji Marshall ended up playing halfback next year for the Melbourne Storm.
I think Benji should be playing in the NRL next year. I still think he's definitely more than good enough.
Yeah, 100%.
You put him around some good defenders. That takes that defensive pressure off him. Fuck, he's going to be good. He's still set up tries with ease.
I'd have him ahead of Jerome Hughes as a halfback.
Oh yeah, he'd be ahead of most players.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think the Sharks should probably go after him.
You reckon?
Mm.
Well, they're not going to have Sean Johnson for a long time to start the season.
And Chad Townsend's not a half.
No, he's...
If the Sharks are smart, they're getting rid of him. And to have Benji Marshall around those two young kids, Connor Tracy and Braden Trindle. Especially Trindle, because Trindle's one of those... He looks like he's somewhat influenced by the way Benji played. You know, his eyes up. He takes to the line. Mm-hmm. Looks like he's got a few little trick shots in his play. I think he could learn a bit about, when to pull the trigger on those fancy plays a bit better from Benji Marshall now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Trindle, it's weird to think he's only played about 4 or 5 first grade games.
Mm.
But when I've watched him play, it's like, oh, this guy is playing he's playing a different game than everyone else.
Oh, yeah.
He's steps ahead of everyone else. And like, I like the way that, as you say, he plays what's in front of him, but he also has that playmaking instinct. So he'll run the ball. He's a really good ball runner, but he also knows when to be a playmaker as well. And like, it's so exciting to watch him play.
Yeah. And the thing is, he's got a good command over that team. Like, when he gets on the field, he's not afraid to call the shots.
Yeah, he's the leader of that team when he's on the field.
And tell you what, that's one major aspect that Luke Brooks has missed his entire career.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Brooks can do a lot of great things on a football field, but he does not control a team. And that's why he's needed Benji Marshall all this time, so Benji could tell the team what to do and where to go and everything. And Brooks is he's just a bit quiet.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's ever going to change that. So the best way to have Luke Brooks is probably as a 6 and have a dominant 7 running the show. And that's why Benji's worked there. And that's why Brooks has played reasonably well when Benji's been there. When Benji hasn't been there, Brooks has struggled.
The thought that they might have Brooks and Mbai in the halves next year, oh man, that's so bad.
It's real bad. And there's talk that the Tigers might be chasing Jordan Rapana.
Yeah, that was it. I was going to say, who was it that they were going after? And Jordan Rapana, look, he's
a good player. The Tigers just don't need him.
No, they don't.
Like a lot of people at the club and within the club, I think, are forgetting that Paul Momirovski returns next year.
Mm-hmm. And
then you throw in the fact we've got Laulua. Dewey is more of a centre than a fullback, but he's probably going to have to play fullback. And Mbai, Tommy Talau is probably more of a centre than a winger. We've got like 4 or 5 centres at the club already.
And like, are they getting Josh Adokar or not? What do you reckon?
They probably will.
I'd love to see Josh Adokar go to Souths.
No.
Why not?
Nah, I don't want to see him at Souths.
Why not?
Nah, they don't need him.
But here's the thing. Imagine Johnson on one wing and Adokar on the other. Oh.
I know, but they just don't need him. I don't know where I'd like to see Adokar go. I think he'd be pretty tidy on the edges at the Sharks. The Dragons could probably do with him.
See, the Dragons got rid of Tristan Saylor like we were joking.
God, they're nuts.
They really are.
I don't know where. Do we know where Saylor's going?
I haven't seen anywhere yet where they've said he's going.
I wouldn't mind him playing as a 6 at the Tigers.
It's better than Mbai, hey?
Oh, shit, yeah.
You know what? I'd take a year of struggling with Saylor and working out that he is not a first grader at 5'8", than having him just do what he does for a year. Yeah.
Plod. On 800, 900 grand a year.
Yeah.
Plodding around.
What about, see, you may have said that we feel as though Saylor should be tried at 5'8" first. But I guess there's the possibility you buy him if you're the West Tigers. You have an eye on him as a 5'8", but you could probably put him at fullback too.
Oh, definitely put him at fullback, yeah. Yeah, he's just one of those, you commentators say it all the time, he's just a natural footballer. You could put him anywhere, he'll do a job.
Yeah.
I put him in the same mould as Tyrone Peachy.
Yeah, yeah.
Problem is, you do need to put him somewhere semi-regularly. And that's the problem that Peachy's had, is that he's just been a mishmash everywhere. And it's bad for his development.
It is, yeah. And that's the thing. I think that he needs to be... I don't know if you sit him down and say, where do you want to play? Or if you say to him, listen, I think you're a 5'8", or I think you're a fullback something, and we're going to give you that jersey, and it's your jersey, and show me what you can do.
Yeah, exactly. Now, just looking at the chat here, Andy said, is there any club where Cam Smith would not be the starting hooker?
Not that I can think of, no.
West Tigers.
Yeah. Perth the Tigers play. Tigers would play him at lock. In the centres. No, they'd play him in the centres.
Put him in the centres, yeah. They put Mbai at hooker.
Yeah.
And Andy also says it's not like the Sharks haven't bought Tigers players in the past.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they just bought all the... Well, they started buying all the right ones. It's more of the fact that they didn't really buy the right ones. They just knew how to coach them properly.
Yeah. Although they did buy Aaron Woods. That was a mistake.
Yeah, although he hasn't been too bad this year.
Oh.
I'm not saying he's been great or that he's a great player, but as far as Aaron Woods' capabilities are concerned, he's done reasonably well with them this year.
Can you name a softer forward than Aaron Woods that you've seen in the last 20 years?
Adam Blair.
I think Adam Blair is a hard man compared to Aaron Woods.
No.
See, that's something else we disagree on.
Yeah. You never had Adam Blair or Aaron Woods playing at your club, though, did you?
That's true.
Yeah.
See, I'm an outsider in this conversation.
You are.
You felt the pain.
Oh, yeah. We lost Bryce Gibbs, a toiler, and Andrew Fafita before he became a rep player, just to get Adam Blair to turn up and plod along and get his cash his check every week.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, while that was going on, Andrew Fafita goes and wins a premiership at Cronulla, plays state and test footy.
You know what? Andrew Fafita really needs the off-season. He looks busted.
Oh, the poor bugger's been playing injured for the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And now he's got an opportunity to actually go and get some surgery done and get himself right, because Sharks have plenty of good young forwards there now. I think John Morris is using him really well now off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of trying to make the poor bastard work for an hour every week, he's just giving him 2 15-20-minute spells off the bench.
Yeah.
Either side of half-time, and it's like he's getting maximum impact out of him now. And he's also stopped him from running sideways, which is a huge advantage.
Yeah, true. I also think because of his injuries, and he's a big dude anyway, but I think he's carrying a bit too much weight, and it's not his fault. My understanding is he can't really train much during the week.
No.
So, and I think that if he can just get an off-season, just, put the feet up, let his legs, heal up and then get back into a pre-season, it'll do him the world of good, because you can really see he's dragging his body along in these games. He's doing the best he can, and it's not what you want to see out of a player like him.
No, the lateral movement of him is nearly non-existent. And that's the thing, you're not getting value out of him defensively as an impact player off the bench at the moment. But he's only showing huge impact, when he's carrying the ball.
Yeah. That reminds me of a quote I saw during the week. You know how Fanua Blake from Manly is going to the New Zealand Warriors?
Mm-hmm.
And they've got Ben Murdoch-Masila that they're getting next year from Super League.
Uh-huh.
Well, Monty Beetham during the week compared those two to Ruben Wiki and Stephen Price.
Oh, that's bad.
I might have been dying, but I still tweeted out, man, I've got some magic beans to sell to Monty Beetham.
Oh, that's a bad take.
That really is. That was a really bad one.
I get you want to talk up your new signings, and that's fine. But be sensible with it. Yeah, exactly. Because you don't want to put too high an expectation on players when there's a fair chance they're not going to get there. I mean, Ruben Wiki was... In my time watching footy, he's one of the few players you could just say he's going to give you one hell of a tough as nails fucking performance every single week.
Yeah, and you select him and you don't have to worry.
Exactly.
At all. It's like I've got that sorted out. I can worry about the other, 16 players.
And so consistent, so reliable, so fucking tough. He was one of those few players where opposition players would not run at him because they knew that they would get hurt.
Remember, who was it that he absolutely poleaxed? It's that the dude that's at Canberra now. Broke his face in half. Used to play for St Helens.
Soliola?
That's it.
Oh,
He fucking hit Soliola so hard in the tackle. I thought he'd killed him one day.
Wiki was... He was a mean runner of the ball, a mean tackler.
But he was mean in the sense of like, it just properly scary.
Yeah, like he wasn't violent or grubby.
No.
Just when you got hit, that fucking hurt. You could see players avoiding him. That's it. The only other player I ever saw have that impact on opposition teams was Nigel Plum, but only in defence. But
Yes.
Wiki had it in attack and defence. Like, no one wanted to tackle him. No one wanted to be tackled by him. And I've not seen too many players, with that trait. And he did it as a centre and a second rower, and then a prop.
Yeah.
Unbelievable athlete. No way am I comparing any forward to that. No way.
No, I wouldn't either.
I can't even think of another forward in the history of the game that comes close to matching that.
Well, you think how many legit centres could do that transition? Like Jared McCracken went from being a pretty good centre to a fantastic second rower, but
He never would have got to the prop.
What's that?
He never would have got to prop though.
Yeah, that exactly. Like, and to legit be a prop, like not an undersized prop, not like a Paul Gallen prop or anything, like a legit prop forward. I can't think of anyone.
I think if Luke Lewis had to put on some extra kilos, he may have been able to.
Did he have the frame for that though?
He would have done. He would have been like a Matt Pryor type prop, so he would have been quite tall, but he would have needed to put on some extra weight for it though.
True.
But yeah, there's not many. You've got to be a hell of a player to pull that off. And I don't think there's many players in the modern game now that could do it. I mean, Chris Lawrence, I guess, tried to make the switch from centre to second row, and he was okay at the back row. But there's no way knowing he would have survived a prop very long. It's just... I don't know. I think Chris Close did it.
Did Gene Miles do it?
I don't think he played prop.
No, not prop, but he played second row, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I
wonder if...
Bob
it's
Lidner, maybe?
Oh, Bob Lidner. I know he played lock.
Mm.
Which is like, that's fair enough, same thing, but did he play in centres?
He may have done as a junior. Brad Clyde, Billy Moore, they may have been along the same lines. They may have played in the centres occasionally, not often.
Matt, you know what? Matt Adamson did it.
There you go. Didn't he start at fullback?
He did, yeah. You know who else started at fullback was, what's his name, the hair bear at Penrith in 2003. Not Pulatua, the other dude.
Whanganui?
No. His name escapes me. Let's bring up the 2003 team. But he played fullback for the New Zealand Warriors.
Okay.
2003. It might have only been a game or two. NRL Grand Final. Man, I wish my brain worked better sometimes, hey? Where's the lineups? Here we go. Joe Nulliver. He was listed as a fullback for the New Zealand Warriors early in his career. Tony Pulatua, I think he played juniors as a centre as well.
I'd imagine he would have done.
Because I remember watching him remember how they used to show the Schoolboys Cup?
Oh yeah, God, that was great.
Yeah, I remember watching him in the Schoolboys Cup and being like, oh my God, this dude. And then I found out he actually lived over the back fence from me.
Whenever you had a bad game, did you pop your head up over the fence and hook into him? Why don't you pass the ball, you fucking peanut?
You know what? I found out years later. So I used to play, like this when I lived at Tregear. I used to go out the backyard and shoot hoops, so the basketball hoop. And there was a house. It wasn't directly behind me, but it was like back and then one over. And I used to shoot hoops. And every so often I'd see these fucking giants coming out the back door to put garbage out or something. I'd be like, these fucking dudes are huge, right? Turned out at the time they were probably like 15 or 16, right? So I saw them and stuff, and then like years later, I found out like, oh yeah, remember over the back, they used to live over the back and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's them. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah,
They must have been big, mate, if you thought they were giants.
they were being 6'4". Yeah.
That's across the shoulders.
I remember seeing how there's about 15 players called Junior Paulo that have played rugby league.
Yeah.
Well, I saw one of the Junior Paulos once in Mount Druitt Workers Club.
Do you know which one it was?
Near Edmonton. I can't remember which one it was. It wasn't the one that plays for Parramatta, and it wasn't. It wasn't the one that played for the United States. I think there was another one there.
Played for the Sharks.
It might have been him.
I think he's over in the Super League at the moment.
Well, I saw him once, and he was like, he was just a mountain. He was a fucking mountain.
Oh man, some good times there.
Yeah, Mount Druitt Works Club. I haven't been there for a while.
I haven't been there.
It's not bad. It's actually not bad at all. It's a little club. It's pretty quiet.
I wouldn't mind getting out of, say, Melbourne.
Well, there you go. Maybe it's something you can do. You and the missus, you were talking the other day, you want to get out of Melbourne as soon as you can. Go to Mount Druitt Works Club. She'll love it.
Yeah, we've just got to be allowed to pass the border.
Yeah. They're opening it up soon, though.
Feels like some sort of weird bloody post-World War II shit going on in Germany.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to see my family in New South Wales. They've built a wall at the border.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It's strange how, like, I was thinking about this today. People from the ACT can fly to Queensland now, right?
Mm.
But what's to stop me from driving to the ACT right now? Like, there's nothing.
That's right. It's ridiculous.
Well, apart from the fact I don't want to go there because it's fucking shit. But if I wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, if it meant that was the price you had to pay to go on a flight somewhere,
yeah,
you do it.
I don't know. I still don't think it's worth it.
just drive to Queanbeyan and then get a taxi into Canberra so you don't have to do the driving.
I tell you what, Queanbeyan. Now that's a place.
Oh yeah.
I used to go to Queanbeyan to get near Queanbeyan.
Careful.
No, there was nothing like that. You used to get that at Fishwick.
What do you mean used to?
Fishwick's the weirdest place. Fishwick has the markets, like the normal markets, but to go to the normal markets, you got to drive past all the strip clubs and sex shops.
Yes.
So weird, but yeah, Queanbeyan is like, you know what Queanbeyan is? Queanbeyan is Manly, but not near the ocean.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of fucking hillbillies.
Well, they are in the bush, I guess. I've got a sport update for you.
Okay, hit me with it.
They've just done the free practice 2 for the Russian Grand Prix in the Formula 1.
Yeah.
And Bottas was fastest, Hamilton just behind him, and Ricciardo was third.
Oh, there you go, Ricciardo doing pretty well the last few weeks.
So FP2 is usually when they have the race simulation as well as the pole simulation for some drivers as well. So it's looking pretty good there for him. And Grosjean was last, as he always is.
Nice. It's important.
He likes coming from behind. Careful. How long has this live stream been going for? We've been having a good chat here. I do have something else actually I was going to bring up. I can't find the story though. We were chatting about this last week.
Yeah.
Some investment thing the NRL was going to do about selling some shares or ownership in the game.
Yeah.
To get some money, and then they'd be able to invest that money. Yeah, and they'd be able to invest that money. The article was suggesting they could invest it in buying Super League or something like that. And well, we kind of laughed at that. I did suggest maybe they should invest the money in the Toronto Wolfpack and have the Wolfpack being fed players from, New South, some NRL clubs, or just an NRL club could invest in the Toronto Wolfpack and just have their juniors go there for a year, ply their trade and be the best in the game there, and that way you can keep them in the system but still get them playing competitive footy against older players, I guess.
Well, it's an interesting thing because this idea that a private equity group to buy into the NRL, and there's a lot of talk about like, well, there's sports all over the world are doing it. Name 5 of them. It's not really the case.
No.
It's happened in the UFC, happened in Formula One, happened in English Premiership, Rugby Union. I can't think of anywhere else that's happened, to be honest. And the thing about private equity group is that if they buy in, they're going to want to take some of the profits that you make.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they've bought in.
Exactly right.
And so they will be taking money out of the game in the long term.
And typically they're going to be wanting something in return, or probably ownership. I mean, in F1 we've seen that the company that invested in them only did it for a year and then they took over.
Yeah.
Now they run it. So, and it'll be the same with a lot of other things. It's going to be hard to sell a minority share of the game to a company and not let that company have some major say in how that competition runs. And I think if the NRL was smart and they wanted to do something like that, then they should be selling shares to companies who can help the NRL, like Telstra with the web hosting and digital arm and stuff like that, or Foxtel if they wanted to.
Well, the thing is that the NRL runs the entire game in Australia. It's not just a professional sports league anymore. It's the entire sporting organisation that is rugby league in Australia. Mm-hmm. So there's that issue, which isn't anything like what we see overseas with the few sports that have gone with this model. And then you've got a thing of like, if all of the clubs see the money and decide to take the money and give up part of the ownership of the game, they've got to accept that there's going to be changes that are made, and that there's 16 clubs and they have a small say in how the game is run. In reality, it's a big say, but if you look at the structure of how the Australian Rugby League Commission is put together, they have a small say in how the game is run. That say would be greatly diminished under a deal like this. And so you could see a private equity company come in and say, look, we want to get rid of 3 Sydney clubs, and it's this one, this one, this one, and we own more of the game than anyone else, and that's what we want. So you could be a minority owner in terms of you don't own 51% of the game, but you can own more of the game than any other party within the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, so that's an issue.
And if you've paid $3 billion to buy a part ownership and not a majority ownership of the NRL,
yeah,
for $3 billion, you're going to want some sort of control or
100%.
some sort of ownership.
Yeah, and you're not going to suffer fools.
No, God, no.
So that's a big issue, I think. I would 100% expect the clubs to just take the money and not think any further onto it. There are some positives you could see in that a private equity group would say, well, if we take over, we want this to be a national competition within 2 years, and just do it. But then the drawback is that anything they want to happen will happen. So if you see them say, we want the winner of the NRL to play the winner of the, I don't know, English Rugby Union competition, it happens. There's no...
Yeah.
There's no fucking around. It's going to happen because they run the game. I also think, and we talked about this before, it's fucking hilarious that the NRL was owned by a media company for so long, and then clawed and scratched and fought its way to get an independent commission, and then a few years into having independence is like, no, we want to be owned by someone again.
Exactly.
That's brilliant.
Oh, that's rugby league. That's what that is.
It really is.
Oh, madness.
So say you have a company,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're worth $10 billion, but you want to invest $2 billion to buy 49% of the National Rugby League. what are some of the things you say you want in return for your $2 billion?
Yeah, expansion. And you know what? I'm not going to go easy on expansion. I'm going to go fucking nuts on it.
Yeah.
I want a second team in New Zealand. I want one in Perth. I want one in Brisbane. And fuck it, I want one in the Northern Territory.
Wow.
You know why?
Mm-hmm.
Because the AFL gets a fair few players out there, and I know that an awful lot of the people who are playing sport in the Northern Territory play AFL and League. And if you put one team up there, you get all of those people going from being fringe AFL players to just all being all in 100% NRL players.
Mm-hmm.
And you get that market, and you take that market away from the AFL. And furthermore, you only need 20,000 people to a game. That states can more than handle that. You haven't played out of Darwin. Call them the Darwin Dingoes. Done.
That would be awesome, hey? The Dingoes.
Yeah. And it would open up, you know, it's the northern part of New South Wales, and open up trade to parts of Asia and stuff like that. Surely you can get sponsors out of that as well.
What about the Darwin Salties?
Yeah, you could do that too. That could work. So I'd have 4 more teams in there.
Yeah.
And then we would play. You could probably play, I don't know, 25, 26 rounds a year.
Yeah.
It would make sense then, I guess. Still have a top 8, even though you've got 20 teams. I'm not going to go and have, you know, half those teams make it to the finals. That's just absurd.
Yeah.
What else? I'd probably want the NRL to take a stronger stance against bad media reporting.
Okay. See,
Yeah, it's not a foreign idea. The AFL does it, and they do it very well. You don't see AFL media being as aggressively negative towards the game as the NRL is. And it's because the AFL controls it.
Yeah.
I don't much agree with it, but fuck it works.
It works, yeah.
And so maybe the NRL should be doing the same thing.
Oh, 100% they should.
Yeah. And also reinvest a shit ton of money into the digital arm.
Well, that's the thing. To me, that the two things you get out of it is you do the digital arm thing, and I would say that within 5 years, I would want the digital arm to be producing as much as what a television station would.
Absolutely.
You know, and I would want to grab back the international rights for the game, for the NRL. Yep. I'd want them to be owned by the NRL itself or the private media company for them to on-sell however they want to. I would want expansion, so I'd want Perth, Adelaide. I'd want another team in New Zealand, maybe even 2 teams in New Zealand. I'd move the Sharks to Brisbane, and that would all happen immediately. I'd say that I would want the PNG team to get into the NRL. I want to see where they're at with that sort of plan, and you could maybe have them play their home games in Australia at Darwin. And that would be what I would want in the short term.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'll all work. Ben Rolfe has joined the conversation. He said maybe the NRL should start a Patreon.
You know what? I've had so many people join my Patreon in the last couple of weeks.
You lucky, but I've had one.
Have it? You know what? It's weird because having Patreon supporters, you feel responsible to them now, right?
Yeah.
And because you are responsible to them, and being unwell over the last couple of weeks, and the thing that I've been thinking about is, I've got my Patreon supporters who I'm letting down, and we've got the sponsor for the podcast who we have to service, the manscaped.com, for their support. And it's something I've thought about. And the weird thing is, during this time when I've been just so unwell, I mean, this is the best I've been in 2 weeks. I've had like 5 people join in the last 2 weeks.
So maybe they like it when you're quiet.
They're paying for me to be silent.
Are you suggesting that they're paying you to shut up?
Yeah. Maybe I should just fuck off completely.
Hey, if it works, it works. Yeah, I must admit, we were all keyed up to do an episode on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And that was my fault that it didn't happen. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday? No, it was Wednesday.
Oh, it was Wednesday, yeah. Because I think Monday, it was my fault.
Yeah.
Because we were going to do one, or was it Sunday? There was one day where it was like, let's do one the next day. And
it was Monday. And then on Tuesday, I ended up having to do a whole heap of bloody work for the League Unlimited magazine.
Yep.
And that screwed me over. And then on Wednesday, had a horrible pain in my neck and down my shoulders. And it was giving me a bloody stress headache all day. So I went, I just need to go and rest. And so that's what I did. Slept for 8 hours, which is very rare for me.
Wow. But
got myself right. And then we were all geared up to do an episode Thursday night, last night. And then I had a meeting to attend to that started at 10 p.m. And so that shit that idea off the wall again. So here we are now.
And it was funny because like you said, on Thursday we're like, let's do one at 10 p.m. I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then you're like, oh shit, I got this meeting, very important meeting. I know what it's about. And no one else does that. It's a big secret.
That's right.
And
it's very important and very official. We'll put it that way. All will be revealed very soon.
Yeah. That bloke though, hey, that's going to be great when that happens. But you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, there's more to come.
Yeah. So anyway, it gets to 10 p.m. and you're coming up on 10 p.m. You're like, man, I got this meeting. I'm like, it's all right. Don't worry about it. We'll do it. Gets to about 10:30 and I'm lying in bed and I'm like half asleep and I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying, And so yeah, tonight I actually had a sleep, so I was ready for this. After we've done this, I'll dead set fall into another coma.
Yeah, we won't hear from Freaky for at least another 2 or 3 days.
Oh, it hurts when I cough.
What I was going to ask you though, have we had any emails?
We probably have.
Surely in this long break, there's been at least one email come in.
Well, let's have a look. Let's go to the FergoandTheFreak.com website.
Yep.
When it loads up.
Of course it loads up. It's perfect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. It's just taking its time, that's all. Hurry up, FergoandTheFreak.com. Okay, feedback. Come on. Okay. Lightning. Okay, we've got some. This will be good. So this one's from Lightning McQueambian. How about that?
That is fitting.
He's a former listener of ours. He says, hey, cunts. Love the podcast.
Sounds like, did he write this like in the last 5 minutes?
Let me see. September 23rd.
Only 2 days ago.
Yeah, so he said he spells cunts Khunce. Okay. G'day, cunts. Love the podcast. Great content, and your hatred of the media makes me happy.
Oh, good.
Hard to see anyone beating the Panthers this year for the premiership. Sucks being an Eels fan because we dared to dream earlier in the year. Ha ha. Could you blokes do your worst players of the 2020 side at some stage? At least one player from each team in your 16. I'd say your 17, but we know Chad Townsend is a shoo-in for the shittiest halfback of the year. Keep up the great work. It's great.
I like this challenge.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Will we do it now, or do we do a whole podcast on it?
Fuck it. Let's do it now.
All right.
I don't think we do a whole podcast.
So Chad Townsend's the halfback, yeah.
Yeah, number 7, Townsend. Lock that in.
Okay. Now we've also got to get the doctor in, Mr. Cartwright.
We're going to put Mbai at centre. Cartwright in the second row. This is going together all far too easily at the moment.
Yep. Let me think.
Okay, so that's Tigers, Sharks, and Titans done.
Aaron Woods.
No, remember it's only one player from each club.
Oh, yeah, one team. Yeah.
So who's the worst player at the Penrith this year?
Man, I tell you what, I'd go Dylan Edwards.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just going to look through the list here. What about Tyrone May?
Oh, yeah, Tyrone May.
We'll
I'm
put him
very angry. He's part of the club.
We'll put him at lock for now until we find somewhere else to put him.
Okay.
He is a bit versatile like that, so we can move him around. Who's next? Storm.
Storm. That's a good one. Who's the big lump that plays centre? Not Olam, the other one, the other side.
Seve?
No. Oh, what's his name? Starts with a B.
Brenko Lee.
That's it.
Alrighty.
Branko Lee. He's
Done.
just there.
He's just there.
Yeah.
Roosters.
Sonny Bill Williams.
Okay, we'll put him in the second row.
Or actually, no. You know who? The lock, hooker, Jake Friend.
I was going to say, I was expecting you to say friend.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Who's next here? The Eels. Well,
Go on.
We haven't got someone at fullback yet.
Ooh, yeah.
Should we do it?
Yeah, fuck it.
Okay. Canberra.
Curtis Scott.
We've already got 2 centres in there. Should we put?
Yeah,
we'll put Brenko Lee on the wing then.
Yeah.
There we go.
Curtis Scott breakdancing in the centres.
Scott for Raiders at centre. Alrighty. Next is the Knights.
Ooh. Oh, part of me wants to say Mitchell Pearce.
Do you put Pearce at 6 or Townsend at 6? It's also worth noting they did have Blake Green play there this year.
Oh, yeah. Jeez, that's a tough one.
Oh, wow. Andrew McCulloch was there as well. Kurt Mann. Connor Watson.
Every time I watch the Knights, I just think how shit Mitchell Pearce is. And, like, everything that happens, they always say that Pearce was involved and he wasn't.
Yeah, let's see.
You don't want to pick Pearce, do you?
Well, no, because we've already got a halfback.
Okay.
And we need to get a winger, a 5'8". We need 2 props. We need a second rower. See, I'm inclined to look at someone like Connor Watson. Even though he's been injured, the games that he did play, he wasn't that brilliant in.
Okay, you can put him in if you want.
That's just me. Where do we put him? 6. That plugs that gap.
Yeah, true.
This is a really arsehole fucking thing to do, this. No wonder we said yes to
it. Oh, jeez.
South.
Who's been their worst player this year?
Gagai.
Yeah, probably him, hey.
Who's they got?
It's weird because they've had points this year where some of their players have been dreadful, but right now a lot of them are playing so good.
Yeah. Be Gagai, Roberts. I'm assuming that's pretty much it. And that's only because they've been injured a bit. We'll go Gagai. It'd be a bit unfair to do Roberts.
Yeah.
Gagai can go on the wing. Okay, now we need 2 props and a second rower from what's left. So we've got Cronulla, we've got Titans, we've got Tigers. Manly.
2 props and a second rower, did you say?
Yeah.
Damn.
Manly's second rows have been pretty good this year, so that's a bit hard, that one.
That's what I'm thinking. Their props haven't been too bad either.
We might have to do some juggling around here.
See, I would go Tom Trebojevic if I was picking this one. I mean, what's worse than not playing?
Dylan Walker hasn't really done anything either.
Oh, yeah, put Dylan Walker inside. I don't care where he plays.
Right. Well, we do need 2 on the bench, so we'll put him there.
Yeah, Dylan Walker.
Done. Who's next? The Warriors.
Oh, there's a plethora.
Adam Blair.
Yes.
That's prop done. The Dragons.
Oh, wow. Paul Vaughan.
Just see who else is there. Trent Merrin.
Oh, yeah, Trent Merrin. Wow. He come back from Super League and he shouldn't have.
He should have stayed over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be him, I think. Okay.
Can we get the coach in there?
Which one?
Yeah, which one? Their entire coaching staff. Dean Young. Needles.
God, Needles.
Baldy.
Alright, so we need a second rower and 2 benchies. Who we got left? Cowboys. Oh, Cohen Hess.
Yeah, oh, yes, easy. Yeah.
Okay, 2 benchies. Bulldogs. So you can just have anyone here. The worst player from the Bulldogs. Should that be Kerrod Holland?
You know what? I was thinking him, but then I thought DWZ.
Ooh.
He's been crap. At least Karen Holland, right?
He's playing to his capabilities.
Exactly. You knew exactly where I was going with it.
And Broncos.
Oh, wow. Well, Darius Boyd.
Darius Boyd?
Yeah.
Not Brody Croft.
No.
God, this is a hard one to pick, really. So we're going Boyd.
I think Darius Boyd did that gender reveal.
That was bad. All right.
You know, only douchebags do gender reveals.
Yeah, I agree.
And he does it in his last game. Kicks a ball. It's like, oh, it's a girl. It's like, who gives a fuck? Just leave.
Yeah, you've done your bit. I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon Boyd has to start at fullback.
That's a good point, actually.
Okay.
I approve of that message.
You know, we do need to have 17. It's not a proper team at 17, so let's have one more player.
Okay.
Who's been the worst player so far this year that's not in this list?
From
any club.
Oh, Drinkwater.
Drinkwater, okay.
Did you see yesterday people were arguing with me about Drinkwater?
I haven't seen that yet, no. I need to get into it.
I said Drinkwater is the worst player in the NRL again. And then he did something. I can't even remember what it was. He kicked a ball. And, like, people are going, look at what he's doing. Look what he's doing. It's like, yeah, he's doing it against the worst team in the league.
Exactly. Now, I just had a thought about the Parramatta player.
Yeah.
Do you think Blake Ferguson's had a worse year than Clint Gutherson?
So I think Blake Ferguson has... I think he has just been unlucky to a certain extent.
Okay.
I think the ball hasn't gone to him. Does that make sense?
What about Mitch Moses?
Mitch Moses has been pretty bad. Who else there has not been good?
Brown, the diver.
Oh, Nathan Brown, yeah. His reputation's taken a smashing.
I'm inclined to want to put Brown there.
What about Jennings? George Jennings is going so well that they said New Zealand Warriors take him.
I can't put him in there because he's done a favour to the Warriors.
And he actually played really well for the Warriors
he
too.
Did. I don't want to punish him for doing a good deed.
That's a good point.
All right, let's put Nathan Brown there.
Okay.
He can be the starting lock and May can go on the bench.
That makes sense.
All right. Let's have a look at this team then.
Okay.
Darius Boyd, Dane Gagai, Moses Mbai, Curtis Scott, Branko Lee, Connor Watson, Chad Townsend, Adam Blair, Jake Friend, Trent Merrin. Oh, boy. Cartwright, Hess, Nathan Brown. That's your back row on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan Walker, DWZ, Tyrone May, and Scott Drinkwater.
Okay, now that's a great team, right? In terms of being crap. Okay, now let's go through. How many NRL teams could that team beat?
West Tigers.
I was going to say West Tigers. Oh, shit.
You know, the only
And
problem,
I think they're the only team that they'd beat, too.
you know what the problem with that team is, though, if it was the West Tigers?
Yeah.
It'd be way over the cap.
Yeah, they'd be paying so many of them so many overs. Like, would you take that team over the West Tigers right now?
No.
You wouldn't?
No.
I think I would.
No.
I would, yeah, I would. I definitely would.
No.
It's
Hell
more
no.
of a club.
No.
They haven't got 17 5/8s.
I don't want this team. I don't want anyone in this team. No. No, I don't like any of it.
I like it. I'm a fan.
That was fun. Rob's come in and said, I think you should make an exception for Woods and Townsend. Well, who would we drop out of that team to make way for Woods?
It's a good question. Yeah, who there is unlucky to be there?
I'll tell you what, you do need to have someone from every team, so it's got to be either Townsend,
Yep.
although he's got to stay because he's trash.
Oh,
So it's got to be.
terrible.
So it's got to either be Cohen Hess or Drinkwater that has to go out to make way for Woods.
See, I like both of them.
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
I don't
Hess.
because this thing. I don't think Woods has done anything really that bad. I'm sure he hasn't stood out, but I don't think he's done anything bad enough to deserve to be regarded as worse than those two.
They're devastatingly bad, those two.
They've been hard to watch.
Like, how can you be a first grade footy player and you can't catch a ball?
Yeah. So I think that's not bad.
Yeah.
That was good. What else is in the email?
Okay, we got one from Nui Ash, one of our regular emailers.
Yeah.
He says, have you ever seen narcissistic supermen Phil Gould and Donald Trump together in the same place at the same time?
I don't want to think about that.
You know what? I watched that second half of that South versus Roosters game,
Yeah.
and when I woke up, I was like, I've missed the first half, but my guess is that about 10 minutes ago, Phil Gould was saying how he saw this coming, right? By the end of the match, Phil Gould had said that there was a player in the South team that he knew would be a good player before they played first grade. He said that he knew that the Newcastle Knights in 2001 were going to beat the Parramatta Eels to win the premiership. And he was writing off the Roosters completely, having said that the Roosters were unbeatable right up until 20 minutes earlier. And it was just beautiful to listen to. It's like he was in full flight Karen.
Tell you what, if he could use these powers to, I suppose, make money for charity through betting, he'd be an absolute god amongst men.
I reckon.
Oh, you're a wasted force there, Gus.
He sounded so dejected when they were getting smashed too. It was brilliant.
Oh yeah, he's still a Roosters man.
Yeah, yeah.
Always will be.
Let me see the rest of the emails. I think we got a regular email as well. So I've got to go into my normal email. Let's see what we've got here. I got one from Andrew Ferguson. What's this about?
Oh, that's just some nudes.
Oh, wow. Wow, it really goes off to the right like that. Has a curve in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Ooh, how about this one? We
It
got
can-
one here.
I used it to find water in the ground.
Well, it drags along in the sand.
Yeah. So it starts to go right whenever it's getting close to a bit of an underground water stream. I go, ooh, better go over there.
Stop making me laugh. It fucking hurts.
Works a treat.
Okay, so we've got one here from Limbretta, one of our
Yes.
He says, point. He starts at saying point. I don't understand that.
Well, he's British.
Well, that's a good point. Listening to the round 17 preview, and there is a 2003 Penrith Panthers versus 2020 Panthers discussion. Some people are talking up the Storm and the Roosters as being favourites to win the comp, even though the Panthers are taking the minor premiership. In 2003, the Roosters were red-hot favourites in spite of the Panthers winning the minor premiership. No one gave the Panthers a chance. Comments such as they won't beat the Roosters' experience, got to lose one to win one, too young and too experienced to win, they can score but can they defend against better sides, etc. I have heard these same arguments made against this current Panthers team. I call bollocks. The Panthers deserve favouritism. They control games, they're calm, they can strike right across the park, and best of all, they're a joy to watch. Replay of the 2003 final maybe? Would you prefer that or the Panthers versus Storm or the Panthers versus Eels or Raiders? Thoughts, Lambretta? What would you prefer?
I'd like to see two different teams in the grand final other than Melbourne and the Roosters. I don't want to see those two teams in there this year.
I think beating the Roosters again would be boring. We've done that. We've got the Raiders that we've beaten in a grand final, so strike them off the list. I think Penrith Parramatta would be fun. It would be pretty cool to beat the Storm in a grand final, I've got to say.
True. I can't see Newcastle, South or Cronulla getting there. So it's got to be one of those Melbourne, Sydney, Parramatta, Canberra. So it looks like you've nailed it down to Parramatta.
Yeah, I think I've said this for a while. I don't rate the Roosters. I think they've got problems. Part of it's a lot of injuries. They're playing with 16 players and Sonny Bill Williams at the moment, and I think Williams was caught out again against the Roosters.
Hang on, don't you mean 15 players? Because Nathan Friend was there as well.
Yeah, he was, true. He actually went off. There was talk that he has a broken cheekbone, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, which would put him out.
Oh, now I sound like a prick.
Yeah, you fucking asshole. Excuse me. But yeah, while you're not slandering players that are injured, I tend to think that now it's a 2-horse race.
Okay, and who are the horses? Penrith
and the Storm.
Okay. What happens, given that the Storm have rested every single player bar one, I think, this week?
Yeah.
If the Storm get dicked by 70 this weekend?
That's a good question, because...
Does that change anything?
No, I don't think so, no. Because the Roosters got smashed by Souths, right?
Yeah.
And I feel as though that was... you didn't expect it, but the Roosters haven't been as good as people have been saying. And we've been saying that for weeks now, you and me, right?
Yeah.
But so, if they'd been beaten by 30 points, you would have said, oh, yeah, kind of saw that coming. But to be beaten by 60, that's something completely different. You know what? Souths are playing bloody good right now, though, aren't they?
They're playing... You know what's good about them is they're playing through the line. So they're taking the ball to the line. They're getting such good post-contact meters that they're able to keep the ball alive once they get there. And it just means that, especially the Roosters tonight, one-on-one defensively, they were no match. Like, they were being out-muscled too easily by everyone on the field.
Yeah.
And Reynolds was just having a field day off the back of it.
Yeah, and he didn't get injured.
No, that's true. Walker also looked... Cody Walker looked fucking sublime.
It was like... that might have been his best game ever.
Yeah, I only saw the second half of the game, but yeah, he was on fire.
You know what? I'd probably rate, and I know it's easy to say after this game, but I would say Souths are definitely in better form than Roosters. I think they're definitely in better form than the Eels. they're definitely better form than the Raiders.
Yeah, Parramatta and Canberra seem to be more, like defensively sound form wise, but their attack. When you know that when their attack is on fire, they can rack up a score.
Yeah.
But we just haven't seen it often enough.
No.
Like, Parramatta's only scored 364 points this year. You know, the West Tigers have scored 50 points more than them.
Yeah, and like they just look, and we said it about the Raiders all year, especially, and it's eventually happened to the Eels as well. They just look clunky.
Yeah.
You know, they look like they are trying to, like the Eels. I think they had really good form for a while there, and they looked unbeatable for a while. But when it started falling apart a little bit, they looked super clunky, and they've never got that form back. And the Raiders have looked like that all year.
I think for Parrot, there's two issues there, and one is I don't believe that Mitch Moses is 100% fit. I don't even think he's 75% fit. And the other problem I've got is Dylan Brown's not there.
Well, Dylan Brown not being there, I mean, Brown's the perfect 5'8" for him.
Yeah.
And like Jai Field is actually the dude that worries me more out of their two halves at the moment.
Yeah, he doesn't mind running to the line, and so he does take the role of Dylan Brown pretty well.
Yeah, but
he's very very threatening. But the thing is, he doesn't look like he's got much support, and he's not he's not a ball player first and foremost. He's a ball runner first, and so he's not getting much support to sort of help him out there. I'm surprised this week that Parramatta didn't opt to rest Moses and put Gutherson at 5'8" and Field at halfback, just to try something up a little bit and sort of mix up the attack a little and give Moses a week off to try and fix him a little, because I just don't think he's right. Either that or sometimes when you've injured yourself, you tend to try and protect where you got injured because you're not mentally confident that you've recovered fully from the injury.
Yeah.
So, like a player who's done a hamstring, when they finally get into open space, the first thing they'll do is not sprint at full pace. They'll look for someone to pass to because they're worried if they stretch out too far, they might do it again.
Uh-huh.
And so I think Moses is playing tentative with that in the back of his mind. I don't know how he gets rid of it, but I think that's there. I don't know if he's injured or not, but that's definitely playing on his mind. He's got to overcome it somehow. I think maybe a week off would have helped him.
Yeah, and you know, the thing about the Eels, Brown brings together so much of their attack. Like Lane comes off of his play. A lot of what Sevo and Jennings does comes off of his play and things like that. And so with him out of the side, there's a real disconnect in their attack. Watching going to that game 2 weeks ago when the Panthers, I mean, they just throttled them. I just can't see the Eels coming out of that hole.
Yeah, their attack it's not where it needs to be.
No.
If you haven't got it right before the final start, you're not much of a chance of getting it ready once the finals are underway.
Yeah.
I'd like to be proven wrong because I'd like to see Parramatta playing Penrith in the grand final. I think that would be pretty fun.
Yeah, it would be fun.
But
at the moment, I can't look past the Storm, and like I'm watching that game tonight, and I'm like, I tweeted this. I was like, bring on the soulless corporate entity next weekend to the foot of the mountain so we can smash them and get on with it.
Well, the problem the Storm had though is that their last two games against pretty average teams, I think it was the Cowboys and the Tigers, their middle defense was very bad.
Yeah, it was.
And that, to me, is a concern for them coming into the finals. Their attack is firing. There's no doubt about it. But their defence is... I mean, it's been catastrophically bad in the middle. Some of the tackles they were missing were remarkably soft. Especially the two the Tigers scored last week. And the Cowboys scored two up the middle as well, very easy. I think it was the week before.
Yeah.
So... I don't know. It's pretty open at the moment.
Yeah, like the only team, like, as a Panthers fan, I remember in 2003, I was just confident. At no point was I like, oh, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that. And at the moment, I kind of feel the same way. I'm just confident about where the Panthers are, what they're doing, and, it's all working.
I think it's because the other 7 teams in the finals you can find something negative about all of them based on what's happened in recent times.
Yeah.
Melbourne's middle defence. I mean, the Roosters just switched off today, and they've been switching off in games for the last few weeks. Parramatta's attack is dead. Raiders' attack is clunky.
Yep.
The Knights, they just got completely outclassed against the Titans tonight. Souths have been inconsistent all year. They look great tonight. And the Sharks, they just lack some class, especially without Sean Johnson on the field. And he's not going to be there for a while now. So Sharks, they just look to be making up the numbers. And the thing is, the Sharks' attack has been pretty good this year compared to in the past, but their defence just turns off at times, especially in the middle. And you can't have a weak middle defence in this game now.
No. And I feel as though the Sharks are making do in a lot of areas of their team as well.
Yeah.
And that's been, that some of that stuff is, Bronson Sherry deciding to take, allegedly, all of the stuff. All of the what was it that I was saying? The supplements.
Yeah, all of the obvious stuff. He's gone. Okay, what was really popular back in 1986? I'm going to give that stuff a crack. There won't be any testing that picks that stuff up, will there?
Let me Google. How do I become fast like Ben Johnson? So that was thrust upon them, and that does hurt them because and we know why, but he was a big part of their attack.
Then they lost Josh Morris as well when he wanted to leave the club. It wasn't all bad. I mean, Matt Moylan's missed most of the season. Chad Townsend got suspended.
That hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Did you see that Matt Moylan is being shopped around by the Sharks now?
Yeah. What's that phone call like? Like, say you ring up Paul White. Whitey, how's it going, mate? Tough season.
Mate, got a deal for you. Matt
you're going to say no at first, but let me talk you into it.
Matt Moylan. Okay. No, don't hang up, okay? Because I'm willing to help you here. All right. How's about we take Darius Boyd off your hands and you take Matt Moylan off ours? Come on. Sounds good, eh? And both can play fullback. Both have played Origin. The guy I'm giving you is younger. Come on.
There's another way that phone call like this goes, right? And this out goes. You're going to love this one. Justin, mate, how's it going?
Yes. Bye.
Matt. Oh, you want to know about Matt Moylan? You know what? He is available. Upgraded contract, an extension, captain. Sounds good, mate.
You'll pay a transfer fee. I wasn't even going to offer, but you know what? Fine. How much? Oh, how about, I don't know, 100 million? 100 million. Wow, that is generous. I was going to say 100,000, but there you go, 100 million.
You want to make You want to make some waves? You want it to be the record?
Sure. What's it? You're going to play him at hooker? Yeah, he can do that. I've seen him pass the ball from dummy half before. I'm sure he can do it. Yeah, he won't get injured. He was never injured at here. Never injured.
You know what? We should do... Oh, this would be funny. You and me should do a bet. Okay. I don't know what we're going to bet, but it's got to be something... There's got to be something funny, but that's not ridiculous, okay? Because I honestly feel like Matt Moylan's going to be a West Tiger next year.
Well, it was only... I think when he was leaving Penrith...
Yeah.
The Tigers were in talks with him then, and they had spoken about signing him, I think, when Ivan was at the club. Yeah. When he was last off contract. So they've dipped their toes in that pool already. They like that pool. They've been there.
It just feels like such a West Tigers move.
It is. It really is. Especially now that he's, 30 years old, young Matt Moylan.
Young Matt. Yeah, I did a tweet earlier this year. It was like, he's officially old now. It was when he made that. There was a break he made, and he was the slowest fucking player I've ever seen make a break. He did not. He was like one of those power walkers at the Olympics. He did not want to stretch out.
He looked like someone who he's mad break on. Shit, I forgot what I do in these things now.
Yeah. By the way, what a bullshit sport power walking is, hey?
Yeah.
That's just crap. That's for people that can't run.
Either jog or don't bother.
Yeah.
Power walking.
That's netball. Two shit sports.
Well, at least there's some sort of scoring system going on in netball. I mean, power walking's just... We're just making sure that they've got 2 feet on the ground all the time. I mean, what's the point?
But how about this? In netball, they make you wear a bib, right? Some of those people are called defenders. But if you defend too well, you have to stop defending. Netball is for chicks that can't play basketball.
I'll leave you on that hill. I've got no problem with netball.
I've got a massive problem with netball. Shit sport.
I'm fine with it. I forgot what we were up to before you went off track there.
Yeah, what we're talking about. Matt Moylan.
Matt Moylan. Yeah. No, so you wanted to make a bet that the Tigers sign him. Is that what it was?
Well, yeah. What could we bet though?
It can't be expensive because I'm going to have to pay for it because obviously you're betting that he's going to the Tigers.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, not monetary. We'll do something.
Yeah, we'll drum something up. Maybe those listening can come up with an idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea. If you've got an idea what we should bet, just go to fergoandthefreak.com, go to the contact section, and say what the bet should be.
Yeah, or you can do it in the live chat here. Speaking of, Rob in the live chat says, "Hey Freaky, do you think Penrith will have much of a role for Kurt Capewell during the finals run? I saw he was back from injury and scored a try in the game against the Broncos a few weeks ago. Mind you, everyone scores tries against the Broncos, I guess. But I think Kurt Capewell's a very good, very handy player. I'm surprised he hasn't played more for Penrith. I know he's been a bit injured, but they took a while getting him back in the side and they haven't given him a huge run.
Yeah, I just think it's one of those things where their forward depth is absolutely stunning. Like it's their 17th player could be starting for them, and their starter could be playing in jersey 17, and there'd be no difference. And I think that
should the Panthers get rid of Kurt Capewell then?
No, because where I see you bring him in is if Isaiah Yeo gets injured. I think he fits that role perfectly. So, like this off season or this postseason, I should say, like I don't know that you have him in your 17, but god damn it, he's a great number 18 to have there.
He's a very good player.
Yeah,
I got huge raps on him. They've got to find a spot for him. To be honest, I can't believe they've got Tyrone May in the side ahead of him. To be honest, I have Capewell over May.
I don't know what May is doing in the side. He doesn't add anything to the team.
Well, they've got him. They're trying to turn him into a Tyrone Peachy sort of ball playing lock.
Yeah, and a bit of a utility value, but they just don't really need him, and he doesn't add anything to the side. And that's not even taking into account that the fucking guy shouldn't be at the club at all.
Yeah, I think that's the one for me. Is I tend to turn on people who've done bad things.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we all like the fact that Matt Lodge has won a wooden spoon now.
Yeah. I saw somebody say on Twitter that it was the Lodge effect, which is it was nice.
It was nice, yes.
You know what we all forget about the Broncos? Like Jack Bird, they haven't had him all year. Like, what do you do with Jack Bird?
Again, another great talent, but so many injuries.
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's the thing is that, unlike Tom Trbojevic, who seems to get, similar mild injuries all the time. Jack Bird seems to get just one big, horrible, fucking nasty bastard of an injury at the start of every season.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a massive knee reconstruction, or it's a shoulder that needs to be completely fucking rebuilt, or he needs to get a brand new set of lungs put on him or some shit. You know, he's just getting absolutely hammered. And I don't know what you do with him.
You know, I remember when they signed him, like when he was playing really good for the Sharks, and then there was a story that they did about him where he said he had arthritis.
Yeah, that was when the Sharks signed him from the Dragons lower grade, so it came out then that he had an arthritis problem.
Yeah, and then I remember when the Broncos were going to sign him to that massive deal. And they were signing, I feel like that was just a talent grab. And I'm not against talent grabs. Like,
yeah, sometimes it works.
Yeah, they didn't really have a position where they were like, okay, we're going to play him at centre or something. They kind of were like, we'll get him and we're worried about what we do afterwards. But I just thought that spending that much money on a dude that has arthritis, and it's not his fault.
No.
But it's at some point that's got to come out at some other end. And you've got to wonder if that's why he's so injury prone. But at the same time, I remember, and we talked about this at the start of the year, where people were saying, who do you build a team around? And I thought it was outrageous. Anyone was saying Tom Trbojevic. And that was before he was injured again for the whole year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's... I just don't know what they do with Jack. And that's the thing, they splashed a lot of money on him.
Yeah.
So, and there's talk that they want to make him a fullback next year. I don't know. I think they've got to ease him back into the side somehow. I think they should probably bring him in at 5'8" or something like that, and then try and hide him on the wing in defence for a little bit, and just to let him get back into the run of things.
Yeah. I'd start him in the centres, see how it goes. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Hey,
But you know, with players like that, say you've got a Tom Trbojevic, right?
Mm.
Well, we take the piss out of him every single opportunity we can. But Clint Gutherson has been far better in the NRL this year than Tom Trbojevic, because he's turned up every fucking week. He's always there for the Eels. I know that in 2 weeks' time, I know who's going to be playing fullback for the Eels. I don't know who the fucking starting fullback for the Seagulls is going to be in round 1 next year.
That's true. Man, that's praise for Gutho.
Yeah. Look, there's a value in somebody just playing every week.
Being available. Hey, I got something for you, which would be great for the live show right now.
Oh, yeah? Tell me.
The NRL has their fans poll. Should we fill it out?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Question 1. We've got all the important questions at the start.
Yeah.
Which team do you support?
Well, anyone that's playing the Roosters.
Who has been the best player in 2020? They've got a list of players here.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got, and I know you're just going to say yes at the first one, but bear with me. There's some gold.
Okay.
There's some good options at the end.
Okay.
Nathan Cleary, Tedesco, Whiten, Gutherson, Keary, Torquiaho, Harry Grant, Sean Johnson, Coruscant, RTS, Cook, DCE, Ponga, Walker, Cameron Smith, Cameron Munster, Payne Haas, Jake Trbojevic, Cameron Murray, Jason Taumalolo.
Wow.
Hmm.
I find it hard to go past Cleary.
Okay, so Harry Grant it is.
Fuck you. I tell you what, Jason Taumalolo come back, and I was thinking, it's going to be interesting to see how he goes.
Yeah.
Man, he is so damn good.
Who has been?
He was doing stuff against the Broncos that it was like, holy shit.
I love when he comes back from injury. He just says, right, I've got 200 metres to make up that I missed out on from the last game when I was injured. I've got to do it all right now.
Yeah.
He just starts running through shit.
There was one point he got a little bit of room to work in, and like the Broncos' defense was retreating back. And so he runs the ball, and then he puts on footwork, and then he puts on footwork again, and then he runs through the line, and I was like, oh, I had such a chub.
Who has been the best coach in 2020? And they've named Most of them.
Okay.
Bellamy, Robinson, Stewart, Arthur, O'Brien, Bennett, Morris, Payton, Holbrook, and Cleary.
It's hard to go past Cleary
Yeah,
again.
you got to go with a sleepy guy.
Yeah. He's tired, but...
He's tired, but he's getting the job done.
Yeah.
Who has been the best fullback? Tedesco, RTS, CNK, Pappenhausen, Ponga, Gutherson, Edwards, Dufty, Mitchell, Tom Trebojevic, and other.
They got Tom Trebojevic there.
Yeah.
He played like 3 games.
Yeah.
I think this is more difficult. I think most people say Tedesco. I think Tedesco's had a bit of a meh year.
For me, it's between 3, and it's Tedesco, RTS, and Pappenhausen, and I'm inclined to go with Pappenhausen. No, actually, you know, I might go RTS.
You know what? I kind of am going RTS as well.
Yeah, let's go there.
Yeah.
Who's been the best winger? We've got Brett Morris, Rapana, Nofaluma, Kotrick, Don, Adokar, Sivo, Mansour, Daniel Tupou, Mulatalo, Felt, Gagai, Johnson, and Katoa or other.
Man,
See, I'm thinking Nofaluma because from where he was last year, and it looked like his career was over,
yeah.
to being... Like, he's actually become someone who they look to give the ball to when they're not going anywhere to try and make something happen, even though he's parked right out on the fucking edge.
And the thing is too, like, I think of all of those other players, and then I think Norfolum is doing this outside of the West fucking Tigers.
Yeah.
So I would go him as well.
That's fair enough. Okay. The best centre. Jared Croker. Okay, so tick that one.
Fuck you.
Croker, Crichton, Zach Lomax, Ramian, Bramman Best, Michael Jennings, Katoni Staggs, Joey Manu, Josh Morris, Olam, Peter Hiku, Campbell Graham, Ewan Aiken, or other.
It's got to be... I feel like it's between Staggs and Crichton.
I'm going between Lomax and Crichton. Lomax has scored almost half of the Dragons' points this year. It's like 47% of their points has been Lomax.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, man, Staggs has been so damn good. That's a tough one.
Mm.
And then, Crichton's been amazing. I feel like the thing with Crichton is you kind of grade him on the fact that you know he's going to get so much better.
Yeah, for me, well, I suppose that goes for all 3 of those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Staggs and Lomax deserve better than the clubs they're in.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
We'll go with Crichton then, because at least we both had him on our shortlist.
True.
Best 5/8. Got Whiten, Keary, Johnson, Munster, Nicarima, Mann, Brown, Luai, Walker, and Benji.
I still find it hard to go past Munster.
Yeah.
Whiten, his
been
best, his best has been better than Munster, I think, but he's also had some games where he should have been the dude taking over that team, and he disappeared.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's been a few times where he's just been a bit quiet. Johnson this has probably been Johnson's best year in quite a while.
Yeah.
Keary's wasn't too bad. I don't think it was as good as last year. Nicarima, I tend to think he's a little bit overrated.
Yeah.
Not much, just a little bit. Kurt Mann, I don't rate at all. Dylan Brown, Paul Bugger's just been injured a bit too much. Luai's had a pretty good season.
Yeah.
Walker's firing at the back end of the year. Benji's attack has been fantastic. His defence has been the opposite.
Yeah.
As much as I'd love to put Benji on there, I've got to agree, I think Munster.
Yeah. Ahead of the greatest competitor in the history of modern sport.
Yeah. Best halfback. We've got Cleary, George Williams, DCE, Moses, Hughes, Luke Brooks, Mitchell Pearce, Adam Reynolds, Adam Clune, Jamal Fogarty, and Channel Harris DeVita or other.
I'm glad that Harris Tavita's on there, hey?
Yeah. But you can't go past bloody Cleary.
It's been an outstanding season.
Yeah. Best lock. Tormalolo, Finnegan, Jake Trebojevic, Cameron Murray, Cameron McInnes, Jai Arrow, Nathan Brown, Isa Yo, Patrick Carrigan, Jazz Tavanga, Alex Twal or other. It's got to be Tormalolo.
Yeah, easy.
Who's been the best second rower? Ryan Madison? No, because he cries. Kickout. Harris Johnson. Josh Jackson. Luciano Lailua. Liam Martin. Fitzgibbon. Sirinen. Kenny Bromwich. Felice Kafusi. John Bateman. Wade Graham. David Fafita. Elliot Whitehead. Boyd Cordner. Man, there's a few in here.
Damn, this is a tough one.
Kickout. Tohu Harris has had a great season and he's filled in a lot of places that forward pack and been absolute epic for the Warriors. Lailua's been the Tigers' best signing in many years. Liam Martin's had an absolute stunning season.
Fafita, I know he hasn't played much, but fucking hell, he is a monster.
He is, and we all know how much I love fucking Wade Graham. It's a hell of a list.
Damn, that's the toughest one so far. Easy. Oh man. Oh man. Far out. That's a tough one. I mean, like Luciano Leilua, when you said his name, I was like, ooh, he's going to be tough to beat. And then you named like 4 or 5 others. So I was like, damn, I don't think he's anywhere near those dudes even.
Form-wise, I think we're looking at Kickout, Harris, Leilua, Martin. I think I'll put it down to those 4.
I feel as though I'd probably go Martin just because I feel like he's played more games than a lot of those other guys and he's probably been more consistent. And I like that competitive way he plays.
Alright, we'll do that. Best prop. Papali, Haas, Jesse Bromwich, Clemmer, Tapau, Torquiaho, Fanua Blake, Fisher Harris, Tamo, Junior Paulo, Maria Hargraves, Christian Welch, Campbell Gillard, Fatuiaka, Totola, and Tom Burgess.
It's hard to go past Papali, hey?
He has been pretty good. Fisher Harris hasn't been too bad either.
Yeah, he's been fantastic too.
I do love watching Fodawaker play for the Titans prop.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll go Papali. And who we got? Best hooker. Coruscant, Hunt, Mahoney, Damien Cook, Cameron Smith, Josh Hodgson, Harry Grant, Jake Friend, Tom Starling, Blake Brayley, Reece Robson, Jake Turpin.
Damn, this has got to be between, I reckon, Smith and Harry Grant.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a close one too.
Harry Grant really did take the competition by storm at the start of the year. I think he was sitting second on the Dally M points at the halfway point of the season.
Yeah.
And then he got injured and missed a few games.
And as soon as he was outside, the West Tigers they crumbled. Yeah.
The other one that surprised me too.
Harry Grant in there.
The other one that surprised us too in this list is Blake Brayley.
Yeah.
That kid has come on in leaps and bounds this year. He's got a really good short kicking game, and he's really, really nippy at a dummy half. And Tom Starling at the Raiders has only played the last few games as a starting hooker, and he looks damn good. Like he's their long-term future there when Hodgson leaves.
100%. I tell you what, isn't it funny that, like, do you remember last year we were talking about Reid Money and we were like, just don't see it. Just don't see it. And then the switch flicked and it's like, holy shit, he's great.
Yeah, it was like the last 4 or 5 games of last year.
Yeah.
He just turned it on and he hasn't turned it off.
Yeah, he's great. I really love watching him play. Man, the thing, I think Cameron Smith's still the best hooker in the game, but I just look at the difference between with the Tigers when Harry Grant plays and when he doesn't play. and it's fucking dramatic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right. Who has been the best rookie?
Oh, who have they got listed?
Yeah. Eli Katoa from the Warriors, Jake Averillo from the Dogs, Toby Rudolph from the Sharks, Bradman Best at the Knights, Harry Grant at the Tigers, Hamiso Tabuai-Fidau from the Cowboys, Adam Clune at the Dragons, Stephen Crichton at Penrith, Jamal Fogarty at the Titans, and Xavier Coates at the Broncos.
Oh man, it'd have to be between. It's got to be Harry Grant. It has to be.
Has to be.
Yeah. Crichton's been fantastic. Katoa's been great. Rudolph, I think, is underrated in that list.
I do like. I tell you what, Fogarty too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been made the Titans captain.
And he deserves it too.
Like,
I was watching them. I was watching a part of the first half, and like it's his team.
Absolutely. Who's been the buy of the year? Campbell Gillard, Madison, Latrell Mitchell, Kyle Flanagan, Josh Morris, George Williams, Harry Grant. I will say we can't pick Harry Grant on the technicality. He hasn't been bought.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Coruscant, Valentine Holmes, Luciano Leilua, or other.
You know what? Of those players, I think it's Luciano Leilua.
I agree. He has been an absolute find.
Yeah.
Like, even I was a little bit uncertain about him when we signed him, but he has turned into an absolute beast. And he hasn't cost an arm and a leg either.
No, and excuse me, he's got the ability to be a game breaker.
Absolutely.
He dropped a little bit of weight from when he was at the Dragons, and it's been great for him. But he's kept his power as well.
Yeah. All right. Who is the NRL's hardest hitter? Napa, Radley, Fisher Harris, Fanua Blake, Wade Graham, Tarek Sims, Payne Haas, Tavita Pangai Jr., Martin Tapau, George Tafua, Jake Trebojevic, or Michaeli Ravalawa? See, I'm just going to go Wade Graham.
Yeah. Go with Wade Graham, fuck it.
Because he's got the combination of a good technique and perfect timing. How many times have you seen him absolutely destroy a halfback when they're not quite looking at it?
The biggest hit I've seen this year, though, was Sevo.
Yeah.
But, can't pick a winger.
No. Who has been the most improved player in 2020? Jerome Hughes, Fodawaker, Sione Katoa, Jacob Saifidi, Regan Campbell-Gillard, Campbell Graham, Matt Duffy, Kurt Mann, Nathan Cleary, Isa Yo, Tom Burgess, Adfanil Blake, Katoni Staggs.
Oh, man.
Tell you what, if we're talking improvement, Campbell-Gillard's improved a fair bit. I don't know that the rest have actually improved that much.
Well, here's the thing. I think that Nathan Cleary is the one.
He wasn't really... Well, yeah, you know, I'm fine with that. He wasn't that bad, though, the year before.
Yeah, but, like, you think about it, going from not that bad to, holy shit, this guy is, like, just an all-round... He's great in defence. He's great in attack. His kicking game's great. His goal kicking's great. His playmaking's great. Like, I think the difference between him last year and what the player is now is massive.
No, I agree with that. Who will win the 2020 Grand Final?
Rabbitohs.
Penrith?
Yeah.
Which team do you most like to see your team beat?
Who's the one you like to beat? Oh, it's Parramatta, isn't it?
Anyone. I just want to see my team win.
I'd like to see them beat the Gold Coast.
I like it when they beat South.
DIY South.
It's a Balmain South thing.
Okay.
The Roosters, only because it never happens.
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders, because of 89. I'm not bitter, but fuck them. The Broncos. I could probably come up with a reason as to why I want to see them beat any team.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, there's no one that's... I think for me, I'd have to go with the Storm because for so long we didn't beat the Storm. We've talked about that, I think, in the last episode. Just every single time the Storm beat us. And so to be a team that can now beat the Storm, it's like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
Because, and most people are probably thinking, like, well, why don't you pick the Roosters? Because we own their soul. That's why. Like, we own it. We've got it in a basement. And so that, like, beating them is just like, of course we beat them.
It's like dancing on TikTok.
It really is. It really is.
All right, we'll go Storm. If you were starting a club, who is the first player you'd sign?
It might have been Nathan Cleary.
Well, he's on the list.
Yeah.
Okay, the other players are RTS, Harry Grant, Tedesco, DCE, Ponga, Cook, Whiten, Cleary, Munster, Haas, Latrell Mitchell, Tom Trebojevic, Jake Trebojevic, Cameron Murray, Jason Tormololo, Fafita, and Keary.
Yeah. I can't go past, what is he, 22-year-old halfback.
Who can kick goals.
Kick goals, defend, comes from a good family, coach's dad. Like, these so many ticks in boxes.
Alrighty. Next question. Which player most deserves to make his State of Origin debut? Keary, Mahoney, Grant, Gutherson, Pappenheisen, Madison, Paulo, Collins, Friend, Fasumalui, Mann, and Staggs, or other.
It's hard to go past Pappenhausen, hey?
Or Harry Grant.
Yeah, Harry Grant. He's a Queenslander, eh?
Yeah. He's got to unseat and buy, probably.
It's weird that people were talking about Jake Friend playing for Queensland. It's like, please pick Jake Friend.
In one season, he's already fallen another peg down the order behind Harry Grant.
Yeah.
What is your favourite time slot to watch games? So we've got Thursday 8 p.m, Friday 6 p.m, and 8 p.m, Saturday 3 p.m, 5:30 p.m, 7:30 p.m, Sunday 2 p.m, 4 p.m, 6:30 p.m, or Monday 4 p.m.
The ones I like, and this probably surprised people, I like the 5:30 Saturday game going into the 7:30 game.
No, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, there's something about that. It's like, I don't know if it's because I feel it's probably something to do with, like, man, we're in the middle of just footy day, But my favourite day is definitely Sunday afternoon as well.
Yeah.
But I do like that Saturday 5 p.m.
I think that 5 p.m. game is perfect because if you're going to the footy as well, you've been able to do something all day. You go to the footy, you can watch the game, and then you can get home at a reasonable hour. So if you've got kids, staying up till bloody 10:30, 12 o'clock, or no sort of garbage after getting home, you get home in a reasonable hour, and you still got the next day ahead of you as well. So Saturday 5:30 is just absolutely, to me, that's the sweet spot. When should the NRL Grand Final be played? Afternoon, twilight, or evening?
I like twilight.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. I think that probably the perfect kickoff is about 6 p.m.
Yeah. Should Queensland host the 2021 NRL Grand Final? Yes, no, don't care.
No.
On a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate the performance of the referees in 2020? But they don't tell us whether 1 means great or 1 means shit.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, just say for our purposes, 1 is shit and 10 is great. What would you rate them?
Given what they've had to do this year, I think they've done bloody exemplary.
Yeah, I'd have at least an 8.
Yeah.
Like they've been 50% of them were sacked, and they're like, it's just crazy what they've had to do. They've had to put up with 4 different rule changes during the season.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they've done fantastic work. Do you agree with the NRL's decision to go back to one referee? Yes, no, don't care.
No.
No. How often should the referee's bunker be used? More, less, the same?
Less.
Should the bunker rule on forward passes? Yes, no, only for try-scoring plays, don't care.
No. I can't believe they still go with that shit.
Do you think there should be an 18th man used for players injured from foul play? Yes, no, don't care.
No.
I'm with you on all of this. Do you believe the NRL's new 6 again rule is a positive addition to the sport? Yes, no, don't care.
Oh, this is a tough one. Because I think it's more complex than the answers allow.
It is.
I think there are some positives that come from it, but a lot of negatives as well.
Yeah, I think some of the negatives can be pretty major ones. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a link between the game not stopping as often to the amount of injuries we've seen.
Yeah, I wonder if there's and I'm guessing that there's probably a metric that they will look up with the lack of stoppages in the game and those repetitive stress injuries that you get.
And I think I remember too when we had Alan Pearce on.
Yeah.
He's talking about how as the body gets more and more tired, it becomes more and more prone to getting concussed as well when you get a head knock. And that's something that concerns me a little bit too.
Yeah, look, I've already got in touch with NRL's physio to get him on in the off season. He's a little bit busy at the moment. He's got some stuff that really exciting stuff he's doing. But once the season's over, we're going to have a chat with him about the injury rates in the NRL. I actually got in touch with him about 3 weeks ago about that. So really looking forward to that, and we'll put all of these questions to him.
Alrighty. I've ticked no to the new 6 again rule. What would you tick?
Man.
Do you think it's a positive addition?
I'm gonna say no.
Alrighty. How many captain's challenges should each team get? 0, 1, 2, more than 2?
0. I think it's been shown to be a failure, hey?
I think so too. I think the teams are now using it not because they want to challenge the referee, but to slow the game down so they can get a break. You know, we see it so often now that teams are using it for a spell in the last 10 minutes of a game.
Yeah.
I think the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've seen both teams in games using that up. And the last 10 minutes of matches has taken like 15, 20 minutes to play. And they don't really care if they get it right or not. They just want to challenge us. They can all have a stand around and have a breather.
Yeah, there's been a handful of situations where it's literally been taken as a timeout. They know that it's not going to work. They wanted a timeout and they got it. And I think between that and the number of times that it's not overturned, I just think it's been a failure.
Yeah. Should there also be a 5-minute sit-in for minor indiscretions?
No.
How pointless.
I know.
Do you think the current match review committee judiciary process is fair?
I think it is, yeah.
Of course it is.
I think it's really well refined this year, hey?
Yeah, I've never had a problem with it. Would you like to see the introduction of a transfer window?
As we've said about this before, what does that fucking mean?
It means that...
like what we have now? Sure.
you can only trade players at a certain time of the year. Like it might be you can only do player contracts in July and December of every year or some shit like that. They're the only months you can do it.
Hi, Sydney Roosters. Yeah, Jason Taumalolo is on the phone and he said he wants to come. What? Oh, it's not in a transfer window, so you can't talk to him? Okay, I'll just let him know.
Yeah, it's absurd.
It's so fucking stupid.
It is absurd. Not to mention it's a bloody restriction of trade as well. But,
Yeah.
What do you think of the length of the Telstra Premiership? I don't know if they're talking about this year's Telstra Premiership or the usual Telstra Premiership.
Yeah.
But keep as is, too short, too long.
What do you think about the 20 rounds?
I think 22 is a sweet number.
So do I.
With 22, you could have... Obviously, you're not going to get a situation where we can play each other twice.
Mm-hmm.
But with 22, we can at least have the top 8 teams from the previous year go by that ladder. The top 8 teams play each other twice, and then play the teams in the other half of the ladder once. And then it would be switched for the bottom 8 teams. They'd play the other bottom 8 teams twice, and then the top 8 teams once.
Now, here's the second question for you. Is that 22 straight through or 22 with Origin?
I'd have a break for a break for 3 weeks in the middle for Origin, but I'd play no football between it. So just go Origin 3 weekends in a row, bang bang bang. You could have rep games on in that period as well.
Yeah,
but that'd be it. Yeah.
Now this is the first time really in our lifetimes where we've had a straight through season, and I've got to say I've really liked it.
Oh, likewise.
Yeah, I the competition not getting screwed up because of Origin, I've loved it, the combinations of teams, seeing how it's affected teams in that, we've seen how some teams have gotten better and worse, and it's not been based on anything other than what we've seen in the NRL competition itself. I've really liked that part of it, and I'm really interested to see how Origin goes at the end of this year with the 3 straight games. But I've been surprised how much, because I would normally have been like you, I would have said have 11 games, Origin, 11 games. And during those 3 weeks of Origin, you play other rep games as well to fill out the calendar. But damn, I've loved this straight through season. It's been great.
Oh, likewise. My only concern is not so much about the impact Origin has on the NRL, but the impact Origin would have at the end of the year on international football.
Yeah, and I'm the same. And I think you would agree with me. I would rather watch test matches at the end of the year than Origin.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the recipes are. That's what I was thinking. Like just 11 straight rounds, play Origin for 3 weeks, and then bang on another 11 straight rounds. Then you go into the finals.
Do you reckon you could play? Like, how early do you reckon you can play Origin? Do you reckon you can play it after 8 rounds?
Yeah, I was going to say 8 just then, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
That would just be 2 full months of footy.
Yep.
Smash out Origin, and then bang. You could do what? 13, 14 rounds straight after that?
Yeah,
no distractions?
Yeah,
that would work.
Because, and during those 3 weeks of Origins, I want to see New Zealand playing a 3-test series. I want to see Tonga playing a 3-test series. I want to see PNG playing 3 tests. I want to see Fiji playing 3 tests. Like, there would be as much footy during those 3 weeks as there would be at any other time.
Yeah. All right. Next question is, how many teams should contest the NRL final series? Should it be 8, more than 8, or less than 8?
I'm fine with 8.
Yeah, I'm saying less than 8 too. So, we'll go with 8.
Okay.
Should the number of teams in the NRL change? So we pick add new teams in new locations, relocate existing teams, decrease the number of teams, keep it the way it is.
I'd just increase it.
Yeah.
I think we got the talent.
I agree. Where should the NRL's next expansion team be based? You can only pick one.
Okay, where are the places they pick?
Perth, PNG, Central Coast.
God damn it.
Brisbane, Ipswich/Logan, Central Queensland, Wellington, Adelaide, Fiji, other.
I'd go Perth.
Alrighty.
Isn't it funny how, like, the New Zealand Warriors have been based on the Central Coast now for months? Nothing out of the Central Coast. Like, it's not like there's been a big buzz. It's not like there's, we got a team. We nothing.
Nothing. No. On a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is I don't know and 5 is I still don't know, how would you rate the performance of the new NRL administration compared to previous years? Oh, this is the one where you've got to stroke the cock of Volandis.
I know. How, like, this is basically, on a scale of 1 to 5, what do you reckon about me?
Yeah. Tell me how good I am.
We should do our own poll like this, hey?
We
like
certainly
have
will.
A whole like one of these things that they're doing at the NRL. I think they've been atrocious.
Yeah. I just don't know where it is on the scale.
Yeah.
Do you agree with the NRL's position to support funding for suburban grounds over major venues? Yes, no, don't care.
Well, this is just a Sydney question.
Yes, it is.
And I don't think it's more complex than that. I think we need a main stadium that is state of the art and that's worthy of international sporting events. But I also think that there is a place for some suburban grounds to be upgraded and it be a worthwhile investment.
If we're talking purely financial, okay.
Yeah.
The NRL spending money, any sum of money, even $50, to help improve any football ground is a waste of money for the NRL.
Yeah.
Because they don't get that money back. Like, the only reason why you would spend money in a suburban football ground is if you got some form of profits from whatever that ground makes every year.
Yeah.
Like, you're buying shares in that ground's, future, I guess. Other than that, you were just pissing money up a wall.
And then at that point, you are, like, say the NRL brought into the ANZ Stadium, right? Then you now have all of these other things you need to be spending time and money on.
Correct.
That is not rugby league related. Like, you've got right now you'd have a black hole financially because nothing can come in or, the crowds can't go to games. So you've got that. So it's the very worst time to buy. But, like, now you're starting to have a look at, like, what, musicians you can get in and, what other sports you can get in. What can you pay other sports to? And it's like, is that your business or is your business rugby league?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm inclined to just go with no.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it makes way more sense for the NRL to invest in property than it does stadiums. Like, if the NRL said we're going to invest $100 million in property developments, that would make way more sense to me than developing stadiums.
Yeah, absolutely. Next question. And it looks like it might be one where you got to think about your answer.
Okay. Oh, damn it. Now I've got to think about the answers. Fuck.
Yeah. Because it might have an implication later.
Okay.
Do negative headlines turn you off from watching the NRL?
Yes.
The reason why I said it might have an implication is because if you go with no,
yeah,
it shows how passionate you are about watching the game and that you don't tend to pay attention to the negative headlines. If you go yes, then you might come across as a less valued supporter of the game, and therefore the rest of your answers in this quiz may not be worth much salt, so to speak.
I see where you're going.
Yeah.
So, and I say yes. I think I can say because we talk so much about the footy on the podcast. I just think that all of the drama and bullshit turns me off.
Oh, it certainly does. I agree with you. Who do you think will win this year's State of Origin series? New South Wales 3-0, New South Wales 2-1, Queensland 3-0, Queensland 2-1. That's cute.
That really is. That's adorable.
Yeah. There's only one answer there. It's 3-0 New South Wales.
Easy.
What format should the Origin Series be played under? Mid-season, played in between club rounds, standalone period mid-season, standalone period at the end of the season.
At this stage, I want to see how it goes at the end of the year, but I would say standalone mid-season.
Yeah. Would you like to see the women's Origin game expanded to a 3-game series?
Now, who did we talk to about this? And they said it was a bit too much.
I can't remember.
Or maybe it was I was talking to somebody in DMs, but or was it Casey Badger we were talking to about it?
I can't remember. I don't recall it.
I can't remember. Anyway, we talked to I don't know if we talked to somebody or I talked to somebody, and they were saying how the 3-game series, it's just a lot for the women players to physically get through because their recovery rates are different to the men. I would, because in an ideal world you'd say 3-game series, but it's not like for like in that sense.
No, I suppose it's possible if they stretch it out. If they don't play it in the same days in the same frequency as the men's one days, which I think is also a good idea, because then you can essentially say we've got 6 State of Origin games now, and they're not on the same days.
Yeah, and like the women's State of Origin games are fantastic to watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're a great contest.
Yeah, I'd go to a women's State of Origin game at Parramatta Stadium.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be good fun to watch that. And I think that's a great idea. Have them at different times and spread them out a bit. And, I think for the women's competition, I would like to see it be its standalone, its own thing. So, like, if it was played every 2 weeks instead of week in, week out, if that's what they need, like, start whenever it needs to, finish whenever it needs to. It doesn't need to be parallel to the men's competition for me.
No. Who's your favourite TV play-by-play caller? I've just ticked other, but they wouldn't let me type in League Freak, so I've just left it with other.
Yeah, I you know what? Who was the best I've heard this year? I think it's probably Matt Russell.
Yeah, Matt Russell's pretty good.
He just sort of calls the games and that's it.
Yeah. Who is your favourite TV analyst?
Oh, God.
Sterlo, Matthew Johns, Andrew Johns, Wally Lewis, Darren Lockyer, Billy Slater, Michael Ennis, Cooper Cronk, Brad Fittler, Phil Gould, or other.
I haven't heard Billy Slater in a long time now.
No.
It was Billy Slater, but I haven't heard him for months.
No. Ennis and Cronk are the other ones that I've probably heard the most of that are reasonably good at what they do.
I wish I liked listening to Cooper Cronk as much as Cooper Cronk likes listening to Cooper Cronk.
Yeah. I wouldn't call Brad Fittler an analyst.
No, I wouldn't call Andrew Johns an analyst.
I'd call Phil Gould a whinger.
Yeah.
Darren Lockyer, I don't know if I call him an analyst either.
Where's Darren Lockyer talking about the game? I haven't heard from him for months as well.
This is the guy who thought that signing Anthony Seibold over Wayne Bennett was a good idea, so sadly, sorry, Daz.
Still trying to wrap my head around Andrew John's 11-man game.
Yeah. So we're going with Ennis or other? See, I've been inclined to go with other.
Yeah, other.
The analysts that I watch are not on TV.
Yeah.
I watch analysts that are on Twitter.
Thank you, Andrew. You don't need to name me.
That's all right. All right. Click on votes. There's 45 questions.
Whoa.
Does it show you the results? No, it doesn't. Bastards.
That was anticlimactic.
Man, I was hoping to go through and show us the answers to, the results of it all.
Imagine if you pressed the button and it gave you like a test score, like right, wrong, right.
I was going to say, it gets you to the point and says, sorry, this quiz is timed out. You've taken too long to answer it.
That would be funny.
Fuck you bastards. Yeah, so we've done all the emails.
Yeah, all the emails. I think all the emails are done, yeah.
Got all the housekeeping done.
Yeah. I haven't died yet. That's always a positive.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
Good start to the weekend.
Yeah.
Going to be a head
We
dog.
should do our
Okay.
Women in League special this weekend.
Yeah, geez, we've been putting that off for a few weeks.
Oh, jeez.
Every time we go to do it, so, something else comes up and we don't do it.
I know. Keep dying.
Yeah, we will do that. We're gonna try and get 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks worth of episodes done next week.
We will do, yeah. We'll get Nadine on. She can come on and do the preview.
Oh, we've got to do an end of season review as well.
Oh yeah, because it's the end of the year.
Mm.
That'll be good fun. We could probably do that. Guess we could do that Sunday night. Hey.
Absolutely. You'll have to make sure you rest up for that one because that's going to be a long bastard.
Yeah, give some grades.
Yeah.
Best player from each team.
Absolutely. That can be fantastic.
It really will be. I'm already looking forward to it.
Here we go. Well, I suppose we should wrap this one up then, eh?
Sounds good.
We've gone for almost 3 hours.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, I won't say it. Well, it's been a great session. Every time we do a live show, we end up going for hours.
Yeah, it's we just get on a roll talking about all sorts of different things. But I know that this is a week and a half of footy talk that we've been saving up too. So
yeah, instead of doing it in 15 different episodes, we just did it in one big live episode.
Yeah.
Why the hell not? Make the most of Freaky's voice while it still works. He'll be probably fucked by the morning.
Yeah, I'll have to look after my voice.
Yeah, the golden tonsils.
Yeah.
As always, people, make sure you check out our sponsor, manscaped.com. Go over there. You can buy whatever you like there. They've even got things like nose hair clippers and whatnot. So, you got hair. They've got something to get rid of it. So go over there. Buy whatever you like. When you get to the checkout, put in the code NRL. That's our gift to you. You get 20% off and free shipping. You're welcome.
And I tell you what, with Christmas not that far away, and you want to get your Christmas presents bought early, you get the complete package 3.0. It comes with a pair of really nice boxes. You've got the lawnmower 3.0 in there. You got the ball toner. It's just got so much in there. It's a really nice gift to give somebody that you love, who you want their balls to be nice and smooth. You want their genitals to look really good. And if you do that, you get 20% off, free shipping. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, we do this for you people. We love this.
We really do.
And you can also check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Fergo Freak Pod. We're on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, probably some other places. Who knows? But if you find us in any of those places, make sure you like, subscribe, give us some good feedback, give us a 5-star rating on your podcast programs and apps. Leave us a comment. You can do that on your podcasting device. You can also go to the website fergoandthefreak.com. You can leave us a comment there as well, and we'll read them out like we did on here.
Yeah. We love your comments and everything. So yeah, go to the, I think it's the contact section on the website and leave us a little note.
That's right. And you can also send us an email too, Freaky.
Yeah, it's podcast@leaguefreak.com. And you can get in touch with us there as well. Send you nudes, all them good things.
Absolutely. And I suppose on that note, we'll wrap this sucker up. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And enjoy the rest of your morning.